What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon, so a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to... as these. Lost Cat FE, Neo the One, Rob W, Open Minded, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Mike Henrik 86, Muted, Dick Earth Skeptic, TheFlatEarthChannel.com, Chris Hillman, NA Literalist, Maria Neelands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Rob H, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth, Nathan Thompson, The Real Gabster, Windrider, Missouri Bear, Liam Nedrick, Dank, Erwin Jennisons, Abraham Mohammed, Dave Rakia Gafford, Naibai, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Fireball X, Felix Hung, Texas Mike, Edwin Johnson, Kirsten Smith, Tina Baker, Alexander Main, and David Wayne Foster. So a massive shout out, thanks and appreciation to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. I'm going to raise the mic on Discord and G+, so you can enjoy the dulcet tones of whoever is in there while I set up for today's live show.
Yeah, I think everyone should stay on mute really, and not try and get involved and excited, and just let Nathan swing that sword of execution. Absolutely. I'm so excited, I tell you, because he's going to have a lot of people watching. Nathan should have a lot of people watching. And it's just making them look as silly as possible. So they're going to try and pull little tricks, Nathan, I reckon. You know the old try and, make us look silly and all that kind of nonsense. Just, again, I don't know, just do your thing and just try and get through all the questions, I would, at least.
Make us look silly. They got no geometric horizon, and we look silly.
No, yeah, but what I mean is like they're never going to concede. This is what we have to. He's never going to go, oh yeah, I understand. But the people listening, that will be listening, waiting for him to give an answer. His PhD will be like, go on, give an answer. And when he can't answer it like properly, so that will be the concession with a nonsensical answer. But you've got 6 questions to get through, so try and get through them all at least, just to get his answer, get his response, and then you can break them down afterwards at least. Like, you can make a double show of it. You can say this is the answers he gave, and this is, to try and extract more from him than you if you know what I mean. Try and get his words so we can break them down and see how, again, I'm not trying to, I'm just saying this is, we want to try and sustain it as long as possible with this guy, because he's so pompous. He thinks he's so wise. This is, it's just so frustrating. I'm so glad this is happening. So I just want you to be executioner at your very best in this moment, Nathan. So let's just hope. So that'd be good.
What are you talking about?
So Fight the Flat Earth is coming
debate?
on. Did you hear me? Or did you hear all that? Was I even this?
No, I'm
Yeah, I
trying to
heard you.
listen.
Yeah. But so just kind of let Nathan do his thing, everyone.
Who are you talking about? What debate?
So Fight the Flat Earth coming on around 2, half 2, hopefully nearer 2. And
It's coming on to the show today, or is that what you're saying?
yes, on the show today. But I'm trying to say to Nathan not to do the usual, because usually the guys are just they're just like they're just no ones, are they? So, but this guy's got an audience where we can really, really embarrass him, show him up, show like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I bet you I know who's going to do the first ad hom.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. You know, let all that happen. What we're trying to do is extract as much
No, I
nonsense
know.
from him.
I'm not.
So,
I know. I'm just saying. Just catching on the initial recommendations you were making. I thought, oh, someone's going to debate. I wonder who this is going to be. And now you say it's this guy. Then I already know he's Mr. Adham. So,
because Nathan is going to look right. This is what they do. He's going to look as soon as you ask him a question about something. He's going to try and look for a way out. So if you just start ripping him, you know, and then he's going to start, you know, he's going to look for any excuse he can to get out of the discussion, or you know, when he feel like he's cornered, and you know, he'll just look for anything, you know, or if you start abusing him or whatever, he's going to be like, well, I don't know, you know, it will turn into a poo show, and again, that will be his way of getting out of it, where we want to hold his toes to the fire, but so he can't escape, keep him there, you know what I mean? You want to keep him so he's getting hotter and hotter, and he can't escape, and like I say, try and get through the 6 housekeepers. Yeah, the housekeeping. He's gonna bring up for the gas pressure thing. He's gonna bring up this container thing. So again, don't lose your cool. Expect it. He's gonna bring up this container with gas next to a vacuum and say, "Look, Nathan." He's gonna show on his screen. He's gonna say, "Look, I've got this is a vacuum. This is gas pressure." And we're gonna say, "Well, there's the container." He's gonna say, "Yes, but there's no container between the gas and the vacuum." You know, and we're gonna say there's still a container. He might say something stupid like the universe is a closed system, so it's expanding, but everything's in a closed system. You know, something like this is what he tried to pull on me, like this is an enclosed system. Just little things like that. So be prepared for the gas pressure argument. He's going to pull up the Cavendish, and we already know the answers. The
Spurs, please. Enough. I mean, look, we have 6. Are you saying 6
Nathan
housekeeping
don't need
questions?
no help.
I know, but
Listen,
I'm just saying. I want it to last. I want it to sustain.
I was in the middle of talking to you,
as long as they stay. Spurs, it's going to go as long as they stay here. If they leave, they leave.
Spurs.
Who gives a shit?
That's the point. I don't want it to be if they leave. It will leave when it.
You can't keep them here.
My point is that they will look for excuses to leave when the heat is on. When the heat is on.
Bye.
No, it's not. It's on to the next one, and then it's the next question that they have. You know, so we know now that they can't answer that one. We go on to the next one. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's in the middle of talking to you.
I don't even think they're gonna come.
Spurs.
Yeah, he should come. He will come.
Okay. My goodness. Spurs, I was in the middle of talking to you, and you kept rambling on. Can you be patient? Can you be patient for a minute, Spurs?
Mm.
Okay. If it's the housekeeping questions, that is what you do. You ask questions. So when Nathan asks the housekeeping questions, he's already set them up. Now, whoever's answering the housekeeping questions has to keep it on that one question that's being asked. If they start changing subjects, saying fallacies, all kinds of other little tricks to get out of answering the question, Nathan's not going to sit there for 15 minutes and let the guy drone on. He's going to say, "Excuse me, the question was this. Please answer the question precisely. Don't do a red herring. Don't do all this other stuff." Now, if guy can't answer the questions directly with an answer, and then whatever the answer is, Nathan's going to pick it apart and show that it has no resemblance to the question being asked. That's how it always goes. You can't do better, excuse me, you can't do better than ask a question. And that's how it always starts, ask a question. And that's what we do here.
All I'm saying is that he thinks he's ready for the housekeeping question. You know.
Oh my gosh, we know who you're talking about. He's got his own show. He's got community strikes, all kinds of stuff against him because of his ad hom nature and stuff. No one's here thinking he's going to get converted. So what are you worried about?
That man Spurs Chemo's excited.
Oh, I am, yeah, because we know Nathan is very.
No, look, you've beat this guy. Neil could beat this guy. What do we need Nathan to do something different than what he normally does, which is hold them to a question?
Yeah, I'll beat him up and fight for sure.
No, I mean, you can beat them with
The thing is,
what you've
mate,
learned here is what I'm saying. Just relax, Spurs. Go have some coffee, tea, something, and just, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is whatever way it's going to go, it's going to go.
I just know what they're like, though. They're going to look for excuses. You know, they're going to say that Nathan.
Well, don't worry about results. Don't worry about results.
And all his little audience are going to be. So, you know, he's going to try and show his audience. We've got to show our audience. You know, and that's the idea. Is he's come here with a plan.
Show what? They can't answer a question.
He's come here to attack. Right? He understands there's a battle, and he's going to kind of try and show Nathan that Nathan doesn't know what he's talking about. And the idea is we've got to understand that, and Nathan needs to show that he doesn't know what he's talking about, right? And
that's what happens, Spurs, when they can't demonstrate gas pressure without a container. That's what happens. It shows they don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what these little coaching lessons before a possible debate is silly right now.
No, I'm just saying that he's a lot different to the
You're
other
giving
guys
too much credence to this fight the flat Earth guy. He's a nothing burger.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he likes to pull out little things out of his little bag. I know they're nothing things, but usually most people just say, "Well,
can we just wait till it happens
like,
instead of you're like choreographing everything? Let it alone."
No, Chris.
Relax, chill.
I think I'm having mic issues. Oh, you're muted. Let me unmute you. Oh, there you go. Don't know why you're muted.
All right. I probably could have unmuted myself. I don't know. Maybe I don't have permissions on the channel. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, look, Kibo's just trying to discuss strategy. I don't think he's trying to. I don't think he's trying to patronize anyone. I feel like that's how it's being received, is patronizing. Like, I think he just wants to discuss strategy. That's how it's coming across.
Yeah, but it's going the way it's going to go. You know that.
No, whatever way it goes. That was clear. That was clear that he's trying to devise some kind of strategy. I never took it as patronizing. I'm just saying, how many years has Nathan done the debate show on the nature of this Earth? I mean, really?
Forever.
Okay, so maybe he should be the one devising the strategy. How about that?
These are team sports, aren't they, at the end of the day? I mean, you don't have one
team sports
strategy in a team.
That's a team tag team debate.
Yeah, but sometimes people spot things that other people don't spot. And, you know, that's the point of a community, isn't it? Is that you come together and share ideas, and sometimes someone is good in most areas and weak in one area, and you know, it's just community. It
wasn't a bad idea when they coached up Tommy right before he went in with what's his face that time. He was on the after show. Spurs Chemo was there. Huey was there. He was just giving him little advice, little tips. You know, I know Nathan don't need it, but
now the problem.
It turned out to help.
Now the problem when you ask for the help, Nathan, are you asking for help?
Am I asking for what?
Help. Are you asking strategy help from people, or are you? If this guy shows up on the debate,
I don't have any strategy.
We have the arguments. We have the answers. They don't. End the story.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here with a playbook. I'm just sat here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. By the way, if we can change subjects for a minute.
He's saying he's not worried.
No one's doubting what's going to happen. No one. I mean, we know. Yeah, like it's just strategy basically. It's not like I'm just telling you what he's going to, what he's going to try and do, what he's going to try and say. He's going to bring up. So I'm saying, don't get too annoyed already when he brings up that container with the gas pressure thing inside. He's going to say, "Look, I've got the vacuum next to the gas pressure," and you're going to go, "What is the container?" He's going to say, "Yes, but between the gas and the vacuum, there's no barrier."
Okay, Spurs, enough. Lee, how many times? Nathan, can you go to Master? I posted 3 pictures. The Sabina, I can't. Her last name, I can't see it to pronounce it. Do you see it? He runs a physics YouTube channel.
Okay.
All right. So She's taking on flat Earth here. Okay, and so I wrote this at the bottom. Sabina, you're referencing the Flat Earth Society, which does not represent flat Earth. It's a false representation. Now let's see if you can handle some real questions. Number one, lack of Earth-based Coriolis. Flight times would be shorter flying east to west since Earth is rotating west to east on your model. They do not exist. Number two, how can you have gas pressure next to a vacuum of space? A violation of the second law of thermodynamics. The gas would fill the available space, entropy. Question three, any signs of physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve? At a 1 foot observer height, the geometric horizon can be no further than 1.22 miles based on the radius of a sphere being 3959. Evidence proves otherwise. Not dependent on senses. Your mathematical values for your reification globe model do not match reality. And please, whatever you do, don't beg the question with gravity, the non-force force demoted to only an effect by the uneven distribution of mass, which is 4D spacetime. Time, which is a concept, a convention, not actual force. Time can't do anything. Please show me a box of time. Thank you. Look forward to your response. So she put out a show talking about flat Earth, and she immediately brought Flat Earth Society into it. So
that's what they're there for.
We'll see if she responds.
They're for mainstream normies to attack. That's what they're there for.
Yeah. So update on Dr. Becky, the second picture. I guess she's got a new series of debating herself. So here's one of the topics, right? And then I wrote, instead of debating yourself, I'm still waiting for you to answer my question from 2019, only crickets. That's all I got for today.
Very good. Thank you very much. It's one of those things that I don't know how quickly it takes people to figure out that the Flat Earth Society is not what it might first appear.
Yeah, most people don't know unless they're in, they got to kind of take interest in the subject to hear someone like us say, hey, that's what they are, and here's what they're saying, and here's why we're saying what we're saying. If they just look at the title and listen to someone from the other side of the argument bring it up there and don't investigate, I mean, who can blame them? They don't know.
Well, it's just so they can attack a straw man. The Flat Earthers say that we live on a disc.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. We got a floating disc.
Yeah, that's what they say. Do we? Do we? No, the Flat Earth Society say that. They don't represent me.
That's how she started her talk, the floating disc moving upwards.
Yeah, and they don't recognise the irony in ridiculing a flat disc flying up through space, a second law of thermodynamics violation, at 9.8 meters per second, when they've got gravity set at the same rate. So they don't recognise the irony that they've still got space and they've still got gravity in the Flat Earth Society narrative. Why would that be? Well, it's very useful, isn't it? You don't have to attack anything if they're all in agreement. Flat Earth Society agrees we've got 9.8 meters per second of this disc going up through space. Isn't that handy if part of your premise of your model, called heliocentrism, has space? Also, wouldn't that be handy that your opponent in no way attacks the basic premise of you being in a sky vacuum?
Yeah, but very handy, I might say.
We know how to deal with these bastards.
Good morning, Neil.
Well, it's not them. They haven't got to worry about us. It's their own issues. The only reason these people come here, the fundies on the globe side, is because they're seeking confirmation bias. And they can achieve that in some small way if they defeat a flat earther in an argument. It'll relieve their pain temporarily. But if the Earth was a sphere, there'd be no need to come here and debate it. It would be so matter-of-fact, beyond question, that we wouldn't be in any way paid any attention whatsoever, because our side of the argument would be deemed ludicrous. But it isn't. They hold up strawman false dichotomies and declare models that we do not reify up in false dichotomy so that it can say when that fake model flat earthers don't adhere to fails, we're on a globe. Well, that wouldn't be necessary. You wouldn't need to have to present false dichotomy fallacies to prove your globe is true in comparison to a flat Earth we do not adhere to. Anybody here, nobody thinks we're on a pancake flying up through space.
If Earth was a sphere, you would have a different YouTube channel title, and I wouldn't be on this show trying to prove what's obvious, which is a sphere. So why it's ludicrous.
Yeah, and to assert that the Earth is a sphere is ludicrous, but if that is the case that it is asserted, and it is, it's the Western world's religion, then you've got to make the opposing view seem ludicrous. Well, that's got to be carefully orchestrated with things like controlled opposition, where they hold certain aspects of the heliocentric narrative as true, but also have ludicrous aspects of it, like boats falling off an edge, coincidentally the very thing that the heliocentric model has in the form of the geometric horizon, and then they use that as an attack. So attack flat earthers for having an edge, when the globe's got an edge that's very weak. Now that we've exposed that with the black swan, that's a weak aspect of their argument. But they attack us for having an edge that we don't assert? Well, why? Well, because they've controlled the opposition. To make that seem ludicrous, to make it seem justified in laughing at flat earthers like they're ludicrous, when in reality the heliocentric model's ludicrous. They have boats going over edges, not us.
Yeah, where's their edge?
Yeah, we debunked it, didn't we?
Can I ask a quick question? Just on morons and weak arguments. Has the Thunderfoot saga developed in the last few weeks? Because I haven't really been keeping up with it.
No. I mean, what's to come back with? He could only triple down or concede. He's only got two options. One, concede gas does not go down with a single vector of gravity, go down, go boom, boom like bouncy balls in a fish tank. That's his one option. Or triple down and say gas go down like bouncy balls in a fish tank. Well, he's already doubled down on it. He'd just probably ignore it and stick his head in the sand, because I haven't vehemently attacked him between, I don't know, when I last made a video about it, when it came up naturally on the show. No, it came up naturally on the show because he'd made a response that I just hadn't paid attention to. So I watched a little bit of it on the show and then did a response to it. But he was just doubling down on the same argument. It's pathetic.
Don't forget sweeping them up. Got to sweep them up after they go to the ground.
Right, we don't have to sweep gas up. It's expanding in all directions to fill the availability of volume it has to fill. Treating it as though it's a solid, bouncy ball, falling through air, the very thing that's expanding in all directions, to be settled at the end on the ground for you to sweep up is just an absurd notion that Thunderfoot has used to draw a false equivalence. So no, he'll ignore it, I anticipate, regardless of us occasionally mentioning. He's become part of the meme, though. That's the beauty of it. We don't need to constantly go after Thunderfoot, because whenever it comes up, he gets a mention, doesn't he? He's number one globetard in that respect. Top 1 of 3. You know, he used to be Hillbilly Blue Ball saying, hey, here's gas pressure without a container in 2 containers. Well, now it's topped. As if I thought that could ever happen. Unbelievable. But it was topped by Thunderfoot. Gas go down like bouncy balls. Go boom boom. What a clown.
He can't get on the panel.
Yeah.
It's for Nathan.
Okay. What do you want me to say?
What we're going to do.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. There's nothing we can do.
If somebody's keen to join Chemo and they watch the show, would you know generally that you'd have to get here relatively early to find a space? Would you know that? If you were a watcher of the show?
I know, but he asked me yesterday. He was like, what time does Nathan start? Like 2. He was like, all right, I'll get there. He doesn't know the format. He doesn't know how... he doesn't know how it goes.
You brokered this.
What a load of bollocks.
Debate.
Yeah, like I believe that.
What?
Spurs, you told him he's got to get here early.
I've had the same time for about 3 straight years.
That's not long enough.
I know, yeah, but he should come. Hold on, let's see now.
Just find a mod. Whoever's in the Discord server. Who's a mod? Not me.
Yeah, I'm a mod.
Well, then boot people out. What's your problem? Just kick them out.
No. All right. No.
Go down the list and say, "Oi, are you going to talk?" Buster 2. You've got 10 seconds before you get kicked out by Spurs.
I'll leave and go watch the live show.
No. You've said something now. You can stay.
I was just trying to be fair. I know I don't care to leave and go watch.
It's only the silent ones we want to get rid of, Buster. You can stay by all means. You were quick on the mic too. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Ahoy, I like to stay.
Good morning.
Hey,
so he's saying he's going to be here at 2. Set it up.
2? To be fair, at 2 o'clock we wouldn't necessarily have a full panel, so fair enough. I'll take it all back.
Well, no, he just texted me now. He just said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be there at 2." So if he does, he does. He don't. Yeah.
We'll move some people out then. There's 12 people in. I'm not going to make the room bigger. That's how many people I can see on my screen.
No. Well, let's wait till he actually says, because he's now. We can see what he's doing now, so we'll just wait. He says he's going to be here.
Well, listen, Spurs, since you're texting him, why don't you just send him a text and say, "Join the show now," so you have a spot, because there's only limited spots.
It's full. Like you can't join the show. That's the point.
Well, he was saying to me, "Look,
start moving.
I'm trying to join. I can't get in, and then I'll just do it then."
I've told you what to do. Ask people if they're going to talk. If they don't reply to you, kick them out. Simple.
Do it now, Spurs.
Do it now, Spurs. What's your problem?
Who's talking?
Spurs.
Spurs.
Okay, let's start with that. Buster. Hi, Buster.
God, you're all for the talky about your concerns and your game plan, but when it comes to actually doing something.
Buster, are you with us?
I've just done that.
Yes, sir.
You're not very observant.
No, okay, Buster's not with us. Let's down. Okay, well, we know Crypto, he's speaking. F.E. Greece. You're a flat. Are you a globe earther? Are you with us? F.E. Greece. Might check. Oh, he's serving me. He can't even tell us anyway. F.E. Greece, are you here? For
that. Doom. Bye.
Okay. Yeah. Catch you later. F.E. Greece. Fantastic. The joining syndrome removal. Okay. Neil. Oh, we know Neil. Reasons.
About it.
Reasons. Is your mic working? We know reasons. Give us a quick hello. Brummy, say something. Brummy.
Kick him out.
Right. I'm going to have to remove you, Brummy. Oh, he's server muted.
Spurs, you're the nicest bouncer I've ever met.
You can stay.
Okay, and Ryan, are you with us? Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Hi, nice to meet you. And Sinklinza, are you with us?
Yeah.
Great to meet you. Skeptical, are you with us?
Absolutely.
Great to meet you too. And Stago Lee. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right. I'm here, Spurs. Good to talk to you.
Great to meet you. Steve, are you with us?
I'm here, bro.
Oh, Steve is here also. Great to meet you too. And the boss. Oh yeah, like the boss. Are you with us, the boss? That's double. Oh, he's
don't kick him yet. Hold on.
Yo.
Yeah. I was just double checking. He was serving.
That's a cool name.
The boss. Okay, well, no, we've got everybody. That's a first ever.
I know they're all afraid.
Oh well,
they're all afraid of leaving this one. But
Craig's not exactly royalty, Spurs, so don't worry about it. Hopefully, someone will drop if he brings your attention that he's trying to give in. Come in and somebody wants to drop, then so be it.
Yeah.
He joins after show, and I see him, and I'll drop to a different, so we have room. So you just have to join the after show. Have somebody switch out with them.
Right. Because this is going to be an epic. I already visualize the epicness from this.
Why are you building this up, Spurs?
I don't know. Where's the music? You're missing the music, Spurs.
Yeah. Where's your dramatic music?
Spurs is excited.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's because you're very good at what you do, Nathan, but you don't do enough of it. Is my opinion, right?
Yeah,
you're not out there enough, and obviously, now a lot of people are going to hear now.
Well, wait a second. Nathan's got a daily show. What do you mean he's not out there enough? Are you kidding me? Or should I say, are you kidding me?
No. There's always more to be done. Like even when Ronaldo and Messi, they always get told you can
Ronaldo
do more.
and Messi.
Right?
Spurs, give it up, man. Just wait till the show starts, man.
They're told, why didn't you score 6? Why didn't you score 7? Right? So you can always do more. Right, Nathan? We know that's the kind of ethos that we have here, is that you can do more, you can always improve.
More of what?
Right now, Spurs, I want you to do less.
I know, to be honest. We need more. No, but anyway, like
why
I said,
can't you do less, Spurs? Just do less.
Oh,
less is more, Spurs. Less is more.
Says full. Okay, you're gonna have to start removing people if you want to join.
Less is more.
We're gonna start chopping heads now.
Right, you do that while I do my intro.
Oh, I'll leave.
Somebody leave, please.
I'll leave.
Thank
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Paul Hall and 10th Man, together with a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome, one and all.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Hello.
Great to see you, Nathan.
4 more hours.
Good morning.
We've got a bit of a
Nice
twist, a bit of a surprise. We've got Craig, Fight the Flat Earth. Craig, are you with us?
I am. What's up?
Hey.
Fight the globe.
Hold on, bro. Yeah, great. So, Craig, you've heard the housekeeping questions. I'm sure
many times. Yes.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to go through them. Nathan's going to obviously ask them, and hopefully you can answer them for us.
I can do my best.
Fantastic. Nathan, he is all yours.
I don't mind someone else asking them. Are you around 10th Man? Do you want to ask housekeeping questions?
Yeah, I'm right here. I can do it.
Feel free.
All right. Any signs of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve?
Oh, yes, it's been measured several times.
No, there's no evidence for it.
Hold on.
Go on.
Hold on. Go ahead. Tell us all about it.
Hello.
Well, this geodesic surveying methods can measure the radius of the Earth quite well, and it's been done several times. There's an entire list. The one I like to reference is the transcontinental triangulation of the American arc of the parallel, which measured the radius of the Earth using the USA. Several teams also did similar measurements across the world. You've got ones that did it across Asia, across India. You've got a team that did it across Great Britain, a team that did it across Europe, all different times throughout history. And the interesting thing is that whenever they do it using known geodetic surveying methods, they all come to the same conclusion, that the Earth is a curve. So it's a repeatable, it's a testable thing. Anyone that knows how to be a surveyor can do this. You can learn to be a surveyor, get the tools, and do it yourself. It's certainly a scientific evidence of the Earth being curved. The fact that we can measure the radius.
Okay, scientific evidence would be an establishment of cause and effect with an experiment. So this definitely isn't that. So you keep saying they do it.
Yeah.
What do they do exactly? What are they doing? What are they measuring?
They are measuring the elevation points along several known points above sea level. So they get to known distances, right? So say a point on the west coast of America and the point on the east coast of America. And then they would do lots of measurements from point to point to match it all up, and then use geodetic surveying methods to get triangles to calculate the areas of what they have measured. And when they add up all the triangles together, the internal angles of all the triangles always equal more than 180. Now, if the Earth was not a globe, then the triangles wouldn't ever have angles that were more than 180, but all of the triangles that you get when you add up these measurements equal 180, more than 180 rather. So I'd say that being able to consistently measure and test the measurements is very good scientific evidence that the Earth has a curve.
I've just said it's not scientific evidence. It's not establishing.
I mean, you can
cause
say
and
that.
effect. Do you mind not interrupting me? I didn't interrupt you. Can you shut your mouth?
No.
Yeah, I'm talking. I'm responding. That means you shut up.
I know you are.
Yeah, don't talk through me then. Very politely. This isn't going to last long, Craig. If when I respond, you immediately start talking through me like you're doing now. So
cool.
I didn't interrupt
no
you.
If you talk to me like that,
can
I'll
you shut up?
No worries. No, I won't shut up.
Do I have to gag you, you pathetic twat?
You can.
Right, I will if you don't shut up. I will if you don't shut up and let me respond. I'll say it again.
On you go.
It seems that you want to censor me, Craig. Are you scared of me?
No.
Are you scared of me?
Absolutely not, Nathan.
Well, then shut up. You scared of my response?
No.
Well, then shut up.
No, not at all.
Well, you seem scared. You don't seem to be allowing me to respond, Craig. It seems pretty pathetic. You haven't shut your mouth since I started to try and respond to you. You haven't shut up. You're scared of me. Good lad. It's not scientific evidence. There is no naturally occurring phenomena that an experiment has been performed to... There you go again. You seem to be a little bit triggered, Craig. If you wouldn't mind, like you got, I'd like, without you giggling and talking through me to get the second rendition of something you've ignored through to you.
Nice, if you say.
Yeah, you can try and shut up at least once for a response, Craig. It's the second rendition. It's not science, mate. No naturally occurred phenomena has been studied and no experiment has been performed. Not science, not scientific evidence. That's the first point. Again, and you still seem to be interrupting me, Craig. You had your long, boring waffle, and now I've got a few questions about your long, boring waffle.
I'm just
if you can actually tolerate it, Craig. You seem very triggered, Craig. Craig, do you want to go away for a few minutes and calm down?
No, I'm cool. I'm having a lot of fun.
You seem very triggered. Do you want to go away for a few minutes and calm down? Because you don't seem to be tolerating me speaking.
Says the one that's been screaming and shouting like a baby.
No, can you try and keep out of it, whoever's interrupting? Chemo. No, Chemo. Chemo, did you not hear me? No. We'll try and calm Craig down, see if he can allow me to actually respond to him without constantly interrupting like he's doing now. We'll see how triggered Craig gets during this response. He's already triggered before I've even started. You need 5 minutes, Craig.
I think everybody can see
you need 5 minutes, mate.
Nobody interrupts you, Craig. No one interrupts you. You're being a heckler right now. Just sit down and listen.
You're scared of me.
Cool.
Do you mind not
on you go.
Everybody else on the panel, please.
Yeah, cool. On you go.
You don't need to give me permission. You just need to calm down. Maybe take a couple of minutes, take a few breaths. I'll let you speak. Like now when you're interrupting me. Just calm down, Craig. I know it's very stressful for you. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, cool. Whenever you're ready. Awesome. Off you go. You've got permission.
Excellent. So, not only is this not scientific evidence, that's the first issue, which you obviously tried to obfuscate. The second issue is you said they used geodetic surveying methods. So,
Yes.
you don't need to nod along, my friend. You just need to shut up. Go away. Have 5 minutes, Craig. We'll talk amongst ourselves while you calm yourself down. You seem very triggered. Anything. Very triggered, aren't you, mate? I'll try again.
I haven't said anything.
Yeah, you chuckle away, fun boy. I'll try again. Let's see how you get on. You said they use geodetic surveying methods. So they'd be surveying tangent planes then, correct?
Say that. I didn't catch that. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, try shutting up. Instead of sniggering and giggling.
I wasn't saying anything. It blocked out and I didn't hear what you said. Try not being so triggered, Slappy, and just finish what you're saying.
Who had the bet on the first ad hom?
I did.
I don't think you know what an ad hom is. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've not even got a chance to deliver my argument in rebuttal yet, because you're so triggered, you haven't tolerated it yet, Craig. But you keep interrupting, my friend, with your ad homs.
I didn't interrupt that time. You just said shut up, and I didn't say anything.
Right, I'll try again.
Why don't you shut up?
So, you said they were using geodetic surveying methods, and my question for the second time, while you nod along and interrupt closing the line, because you're triggered and you need to nod along when we've got mics that have gates on them, because you're technically illiterate. That's not an ad hom, that's a fact.
Cool.
Watch as he interrupts me.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's still interrupting, isn't he? Very triggered,
cool.
Craig. I'll try once more. Third attempt. I'll keep counting them off as you interrupt, saying,
if we get to 10...
You're technically illiterate. You're closing the gate, therefore you can't hear. Okay? You just need to shut up, Craig.
Worries.
That's the 4th time I've told you. Just try.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
So there'd be these geodetic surveyors with their geodetic surveying methods. They'd be assessing a tangent plane when they moved location, wouldn't they?
They measure elevation points. As I
on
explained.
A tangent plane.
As I explained.
Sorry, are you ignoring my question? Is it a no, they don't measure tangent planes? Or yes?
I told you what they
measure. You don't need to talk through me, Craig. Craig, every time I repeat the question that you've dodged. Yeah, you seem to be talking through me. You've dodged my question.
Carry on being ignorant. It's all fun.
You haven't answered me. You don't seem to have answered me. You've dodged my question and now you're talking non-stop. I'll repeat it a third time. Maybe a third time to get a yes or no answer, Craig? You seem to have dodged my question.
Anytime you want to carry on, Nathan. As I explained, they measure elevation points.
On a tangent plane.
As I explained, they measure elevation points. There's your answer.
So you don't understand geodetic surveying then? You don't know what tangent plane is? Are you stupid? I thought you knew what the tangent plane was. As I've explained, they measure elevation points. They measure the drop between the elevation points, and then they calculate it all with triangles to see what the actual the distances would be. As I've explained. I see.
And when you put the triangles together, you get angles that are more than 180.
Drop of what?
The drop between the points. If you're looking from one, I forgot what they're fucking called.
Don't swear, please.
What's the things that geodetic surveyors use?
You didn't listen. Don't swear.
I'm sorry that it's very hard for you to hear a swear word. I guess that's what happens with mature people.
Just don't swear.
Anyway, yeah. Cool, no worries. The amount of times I've heard you swear on here, Nathan, I find that entirely ironic.
Not on a live show.
So, do you not know what a tangent plane is?
Do I have to say it again, Nathan?
Yeah. I've asked you if you know what it is and whether or not they use it. You haven't given me a yes or no answer, though. You dodged the question.
Theodolites, thank you, Harry. Sorry.
You seem to talk through me and ignore the question for the 4th rendition. So they're not measuring a tangent plane.
I've answered the question several times, Nathan. It's not my fault.
Is it a no? So it's a no. They're not measuring a tangent plane.
Good to know, Nathan, that you don't understand the answer.
Well, what's the answer? No.
Somebody just had to feed you information, right? That's cute. Thank you, Harry.
Sorry, I forgot the word for a second.
Sorry, was it a yes or no answer to my tangent plane question?
They measure elevation points, as I've said.
So is that a no? They don't measure on a tangent plane? Or a yes, they do?
They measure elevation points.
To a dip of what? What's dipping? What's the drop to?
If you look through the theodolites to try and target one point, you would see that one falls below the other when you are measuring.
What point? What point are they measuring?
Well, it depends what distance they're doing. I could get up the document to show you how they do it if you like.
Just tell me. I want to know exactly what they're measuring.
When you're saying what drop, it depends on what location they are. So they get 2 known locations of known elevation above sea level, and measure to see if one theodolite would be below the other when they look through the target.
So,
and then they add up all the angles that they get.
So they're looking through a theodolite at something to see whether or not it's dropped.
Sorry?
They're looking at something that's got an angular size reduction then.
Angular size doesn't make things fall down.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, but alpha equals 2 times the arctan of G over 2R disagrees with you.
Sorry, why are you babbling at me maths? Sorry, things shrink.
Because maths is what describes reality.
Hello?
And if you're talking, Nathan, you asked me a question.
Yeah, I'm triggered. Eat that mic. Eat it. Eat that mic.
Right?
Eat it.
You
eat the mic for me, bitch.
And
Eat
now
it.
I'm going to answer.
Yeah, I've just asked you if it accounts for perspective or not, and you're now telling me and justifying why it doesn't, correct?
I am saying that I don't think you understand what perspective is.
Oh, you're just telling me you don't think I understand, so it's an ad hominem attack number 2 then? Yeah, I do understand. I'm just asking a question. Does it account for perspective or not?
Oh, look at you triggered. Keep going on, Nathan.
Why are you avoiding the question?
Yeah, why is he avoiding the question, Armin? That's a good question. So it doesn't
I'm trying
account
to answer the question, but
yes or no then? Okay, let's give you a rendition of the question. Does it or does it not, while Arwin decides that he's going to rumpus this question, does it or does it not account for things getting smaller and reducing towards the horizon in the distance? That's lowering, dropping.
Things would absolutely reduce towards the horizon, but they would never drop below it. They would never drop below a tangent, would they? That would be ridiculous.
Below a tangent?
You're not suggesting... Wait, Nathan, you're not suggesting that angular size make
I'm just
things
trying to get clarity. What do you mean a tangent? Drop below a tangent?
Wait, no, you're not suggesting that angular size would make things drop below
You're not
a
listening.
tangent, are
You've
you?
got verbal diarrhea, Craig. Yeah, do you want to try and listen to any of the responses, or maybe constantly talk through every response?
Is that what you're suggesting?
It's going to be constantly talk through every response? What tangent?
Nathan, is that what you're suggesting?
You just keep talking, Craig, and ignoring me. He's very triggered. Maybe he needs that couple of minutes, right, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't seem to be listening to the responses. He's just filibustering, talking constantly.
Are you suggesting?
I'm asking what the tangent is. Right, let's shut him up. Audience, what's happening here is I'm going to ask him what tangent. And he's filibustering through my question now, isn't he? Discord rumblings, like every other fundy who comes here. What tangent?
Oh, Fundy. Fundy says the guy with no evidence.
What tangent?
Whichever tangent your eye line is creating.
A tangent to what? That would be a straight line that intersects a curved surface. So you're assuming you're measuring a curved surface then?
No, I don't need to assume anything.
You just said you got a tangent. You just said a tangent. That's a straight line to a curved surface. So you're assuming that what you're looking at is a straight line to a curved surface.
So I don't need to assume.
So you're begging the question, you fat man-tit twat. Yeah, that's assuming you're drawing a straight line to a curved surface. That's begging the question. How stupid are you? So you're begging the question that you're drawing a straight line to a curved surface with this geodetic survey. They're assuming a curved surface then, Craig.
Nathan, if you're making a measurement...
You say my name, bitch. Making a measurement of a curved surface that's assumed, Craig.
Nathan, if you're measuring...
A curved surface that you're assuming, then you're begging the question, Craig.
Ooh. What's that, Slappy?
So, back to the ad homs. You're assuming a tangent. That would be a straight line to a curved surface. Therefore, assuming that the surface you're measuring's curved.
Oh,
are
Craig,
you so triggered?
Hold on. Listen, hold on, Nathan, wait. Craig, tell me, before you run away, where is Nathan wrong?
I'm not running away.
Go on.
Yeah,
tell us where I'm wrong.
Craig, where Nathan,
tell us, Craig.
Not Nathan. Craig, tell me where Nathan is.
Can't hear anything.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Craig's filibustering the Discord.
I'm saying I don't.
Where is Nathan wrong?
He understands what perspective is. I haven't said he's wrong about anything.
I'm not wrong. He's begging the question. He's assumed a tangent to a curved surface. That would be to assume a curved surface. That's begging the question. He's a moron. He's used a fallacy.
No, you're using the fallacy.
You're using a fallacy. No, you're using one. No, I'm not, Craig. You are. You're begging the question. You're assuming a curved surface that you can draw a tangent to. That's begging the question, you moron. Don't you understand? I'm explaining it, but you're just talking through everyone in the Discord server, so you can assume that you don't have to listen to what I'm saying. The audience will hear me, though. They'll hear me telling you that you begged the question, you fat twat.
Measurements are begging the question. That's incredible.
Yeah, you draw a tangent to a curved surface, right? So you've assumed the curved surface,
I'm talking
then.
To Nathan.
He's not answering me. He's just ignoring everything. That's all right. I don't mind. I'll just tell the audience again. He's assumed a curved surface. He said he'd draw a tangent to it. That means he's assumed the surface that he's drawing that tangent to is curved. That's begging the question. Just for anybody who didn't recognise it, Craig won't recognise it because he started talking through me every time I type try attempt to point it out to him. Maybe he'll tell me that I'm begging the question.
Yeah, no, you are. I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm begging the question here. I'm drawing a tangent to a curved surface I've assumed, really.
Oh, no.
No, I know I'm not. You are, you stupid fat twat. You are begging the question, you moron.
What's that, Slappy?
You are a moron who's begged the question. That's what I've done. I've pointed out how moronic it is because it's a logical fallacy to assume your outcome.
No, it's not a logical fallacy.
What, to assume your outcome? Yeah, it's called begging the question. You're just dumb and don't understand what fallacies are. You think that assuming the surface you're measuring your tangent to is curved isn't begging the question of a curved Earth? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Bless your little cotton socks. How sweet that you can beg the question here. We don't tolerate that here, Craig.
Could I please just...
No, I'm not assuming anything. Measurement.
Yeah, you're assuming a curved surface when you draw a tangent to a curved surface. That's assuming the surface is curved, you moron. How many times have I got to point it out? God, these people are so thick. Chuckle it up, fat boy. You are begging the question, a logical fallacy, a flaw in logic. Not consistent with Earth curve, moron. So I think we'll move on, given that Craig has not measured Earth curve. He's assumed a tangent to a curved surface. That's a logical fallacy. Not proof of Earth curve, you moron.
Brommy, not now, bro. We're later.
Nathan's sworn at me 3 times, so I'm going to respond in kind.
No, you can suck my balls. You haven't proved Earth curve. You've just begged the question of a tangent to a curved surface. That's moronic. All you've done is beg the question. It's pathetic.
If we are measuring a tangent and it falls...
Yeah, so if we're begging the question of a tangent to a curved surface, that's begging the question. Don't justify it by shouting it at me, you moron.
Measuring, Nathan.
You're measuring an assumed curved surface.
Right, okay, if you assume...
Okay, is that a concession, fatty? Okay, not okay. A logical fallacy, you stupid idiot. How many times have I got to tell you? Don't say, okay, yeah, I am assuming a curved surface. Okay. No, it's a logical fallacy. How many bloody times? You're just not getting it. You're stupid. You think that flaws in logic can be asserted by getting more overt with your assertion. Okay, it is not, Craig. It's not okay to beg the question here. If you've watched the show, you'd know that.
Fallacy.
Fallacy? No, mate. Begging the question fallacy. You don't really understand fallacies very much.
Oh, cool. Like I said, I did...
Not cool! You begged the question! Now we're going to move on. If you can finally calm yourself down a little bit, tolerate the next question, given that you failed to prove Earth curve, you employed a logical fallacy, and then caused a lot of Discord rumblings because you were annoyed that you failed the first hurdle. No Earth curve being measured, just Craig's geodetic surveyors begging the question that the surface is curved, not proof of Earth curve. Let's move on. Any evidence...
And he doesn't have a clue what geodetic surveying does.
No, we know.
And
all right, so Nathan, what's the next housekeeping question? The next
Go
one.
ahead,
He's not going to concede.
Stop, Spurs.
Spurs, shut up.
Evidence of Earth radius, the R value.
Any evidence of R?
Let's try that again. Any evidence of R?
Yes, absolutely. The geodetic surveying methods actually calculate the R value to be exact.
Are you fucking dumb? We've just debunked this, you stupid fat twat. Are you stupid and deaf? Have we just pummeled this for the last 10 straight minutes? Yeah, chuckle it up, you stupid fundy. We've just pummeled this, you stupid idiot.
Saying you've debunked 1 + 1 = 2.
We have just debunked it. It's begging the question, you stupid dick. Now sit down with your geodetic begging the question fallacy, you moron.
Fallacy.
Yeah, not fallacy, begging the question, assuming your outcome. Assuming the thing you're trying to prove, in this case a curved Earth, is the case in your premise that you lay down in your first supposition. That would be that you're drawing a tangent to a curved surface that you've assumed is curved. That is begging the question. Now don't repeat it for a third time, you unbelievable moron. Shut up, sit down, understand your fallacy.
It's very hard to hear you if you've been so triggered, Nathan.
That's excellent. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety, as we don't have R or Earth curve?
I understand that you're very angry about losing the point.
Are you listening to the questions, Craig? It seems you just want to point out that I'm triggered when I'm actually pummeling you.
No, you're very triggered, little slappy man.
That's the third same ad hom you've used, Craig.
What's that?
You've used a fallacy, and in response, you've said okay. not conceding that it's actually fallacious logic. You've just gone, okay, and then caused a lot of Discord rumblings. Right, now we're on to the third housekeeping question, given that you've answered the first two with the exact same fallacy.
Yeah. No, not a fallacy. Measurements aren't a fallacy. You're using the fallacy.
Measurements of a tangent to a curve.
Measurements.
He's talking
measurements are measurements, Nathan.
You don't seem to want to listen. You just seem to say that that's a measurement. No, you're assuming a curved surface, Craig. Now, I know that you just want to filibuster this indefinitely because you don't want to let it go. You don't want to accept that you're assuming a curved surface that you're drawing a tangent to. You don't like that. So you're going to keep filibustering it to try and retain some of your fundy faith that they're not begging the question. They are.
Craig doesn't realise that he's talking about calculations.
I know it's very hard for you.
Calculations, Craig.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, slappy. Yeah. Anything else?
He doesn't have a clue what he's talking. I've listened to him. He didn't know what a tangent plane was. He's just reading nonsense out of a book and spewing it out.
Maybe you'd like to inform him. Let him know. Brian. We can educate him if he'll tolerate it. Go ahead. Let him know, Brian.
You couldn't educate him.
We're trying to. You just have to shut up. We'll see how you get on with Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Educate.
Brian. You don't know your own name. Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Seriously, you have to take up your socks to count.
I'm going to have to gag him. Hold on, Brian. I might have to gag him. He can't control himself.
You can gag him when you want because everyone on my channel.
Craig, you just have to shut up. Brian isn't your name, Craig.
I'm going to quickly create a new emoji first.
Craig, you just need to shut up. Go ahead, Brian. Oh, God. He's obviously so triggered he cannot shut up. I'll try for the 5th time. Without fatty chuckling. Brian, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. You got the third question?
Oh my God! I'm actually going to have to gag him. He's not tolerating anybody but himself talking. Shut up! I know you're very.
Such fun.
Now.
Right,
that's all he has, Nate.
Let me just add this emoji to my channel.
That's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's very, very desperate for a good circle jerk. He needs to squirt because he got hurt.
Go ahead, Brian.
What Craig doesn't understand is that everything he's talking about there are actually only calculations. All measurements by geodetic surveyors are done into Cartesian coordinates. Anything spherical after that is a calculation. It is derived. It is a calculation, a mathematical conversion from Cartesian coordinates to geographical latitude and longitude. So every time Craig mentions geodetic surveying and curve or anything to do with drop or any of these kind of things, what he's actually talking about is post Cartesian coordinates. He's talking about after all the measurements have been mathematically converted to latitude and longitude. Because that's what they have to do. They have to reference the WGS84 or the NGS80 ellipsoids as their mathematical reference models. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't even know what a tangent plane was.
Fair enough. Can we
Any
move
evidence
on?
of gravity, Craig?
Hold on, we'll get there.
Absolutely.
Spurs, we'll get there.
Evidence of gravity is quite
Spurs,
easy.
thank you, Spurs, who's not hosting the show. Thank you very much, Spurs. 10th man. 10th man.
Hold on.
Yeah, Spurs doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut.
I got it. Everyone be quiet. All right.
I was asked the question. I was trying to answer. That's all.
Earth-based variety.
You couldn't be heard.
Sorry,
Craig closed the line. He closed the gate again. He's technically illiterate, doesn't understand how technology works. I'll try once more, see if Craig gets that his giggling cuts the line. 10th man. Go. No, he can't get it. Too stupid. Try again, 10th. No, still doesn't get it.
If you didn't put such a large gate on, it wouldn't be an issue. But, I was asked the question, so I'm trying to...
Shut up. We just want to hear the question once without you talking through it.
Will I read the question?
No, he won't let it happen. He's not tolerating
Any evidence?
10th man.
All right, we'll try again. Any evidence of axial rotation, Earth-based variety?
Good afternoon, and
absolutely. You can measure the rotation using superluminal fluids. Superflade fluid coherence. It's quite an interesting way to do it, actually. So now, if the Earth is rotating, then there's certain effects that
That's begging the question.
Right?
That's begging the question. If Earth is rotating, my God, the first words out your mouth are the begging the question fallacy I've told you off for. If Earth is rotating is the very definition of a begging the question fallacy. My God, how stupid are you? Do you not understand we don't tolerate begging the question here? If Earth is spinning is begging the question.
If the Earth is spinning...
Yeah, that's begging the question. Are you fucking dumb? I've just told you that, you stupid idiot. Don't just assert the begging the question fallacy again. How thick are you?
The question, Craig. Come on.
Okay, it's not begging the question.
If Earth is a sphere, is the premise you're trying to prove. So you're asserting it as the pretense to your argument. The very textbook definition of a begging the question fallacy. You unbelievable spastic.
Okay, fallacy.
Not okay! Every time I rape you, you say okay. Not okay. A logical fallacy used by a fuckwit. That's you. Using fallacy, every single claimed proof so far from you has been a begging the question fallacy. It's pathetic. Don't beg the question.
This trigger.
You're just talking through me. Well, I tell you off for your logical fallacy that you don't like. You're used to just talking through people pummeling you.
Seriously,
There's no freaking conversation.
No, because he doesn't let me talk, so...
Yeah, you've just said if the Earth is a sphere, that's a logical fallacy. You don't like being pointed out that you're wrong, so you'll talk incessantly.
I'm not begging the question.
That is the He's thick. There's no other words for it. I've just told him. Look up begging the question.
Hypothesis. The hypothesis is that the...
It's not a hypothesis. You don't know what science is, you stupid idiot. I've already why am I having to go through what science is and is not again with this complete tard? No, mate, this isn't a hypothesis. For the love of God, you're begging the question. That's all you can do.
This can't be the Earth is rotating.
Why are you filibustering the Discord server?
How are you going to prove that?
Nathan,
why are you engaging him in the Discord server? Hello?
No, Nathan?
You're ignoring me.
It cannot be because you have an observer.
Well, who is this guy? Did I not tell you to shut up?
You're just making shit up. You're just making shit up, Craig.
Shut up, mate.
That's the thing. A hypothesis can be anything.
Sorry, Craig. Craig, you've begged the question, and now you're moving on, ignoring my rebuttal, coward.
I haven't even got out my fucking...
You are ignoring my rebuttal. You have begged the question. If Earth is a sphere, as the starting statement begs the question.
No, it's a hypothesis.
A hypothesis establishes the cause and effect when dealing with natural phenomena. I've already detailed that 3 times to you. Now, either you're slow or you are incapable of listening.
Oh, no. Oh, really? You haven't shut your little flappy mouth?
Sorry, you haven't acknowledged my rebuttal. You stating that the Earth is a sphere is a begging the question fallacy. Now, you've done that for every single claim proof to a housekeeping question thus far, without exception. Every single claim proof you've had has begged the question.
If you say so, fallacy, man, carry it on. Right, now.
What, right now? You haven't addressed the rebuttal.
No, I haven't said anything for you to rebut yet.
You've said if Earth's rotating. That's begging the question.
As soon as I start talking, you get extremely triggered.
No, I point out where your argument dies based on its logical fallacy. In this instance, begging the question. If you're trying to prove the Earth's sphere and it's rotating, and you start your example by saying, if Earth's rotating, that would be the thing you're trying to prove. Therefore, you are assuming in the starting point of your premise and your argument the very thing you're trying to prove. That, by definition, is begging the question. Now, I realise that you haven't listened to a single word that I've said, and all you've done is talk through every word of my very concise, very calm rebuttal that you don't want to hear. Because all you have is a begging the question fallacy, assuming the very thing you're trying to prove.
Oh, no, I haven't made any assumptions.
If the Earth is rotating is an assumption.
No, it's not.
It's not an assumption that Earth's rotating. Yet you're a clown. You are so stupid that you don't understand your starting premise is an assumption.
No, it's not. You don't.
Oh, so you just know it's rotating, do you? That's the definition of begging the question. I already know the outcome, so I'm going to assume it as part of my premise.
No, I understand.
Stutter for me, you little bitch. Yeah, that's begging the question.
But you're grasping the English language.
Yeah, it's the English language you're using to butcher this claim proof by way of logical fallacy. You won't ever acknowledge that stating the very thing you're trying to prove as your starting statement is assuming the thing you're trying to prove.
If you can be quiet for 10 seconds.
You can suck my balls, is what you can do. You're begging the question, mate. You're using logical fallacy, mate. Not sound logic. Fallacious logic, flawed logic, not good logic, crappy logic, stupid logic, moron logic, logic that you don't want to accept, logic that you want to tell me that you already know the outcome.
You hear it, like,
doesn't have any balls because you swallowed them.
Stop appealing to showing fallacies, mate. Tactics.
Okay, so let's try this again.
You have nothing. Answer, Nathan.
Okay, let's cut the ad hoc. Craig, so the evidence. So you started with if. So I think that's a bit of a problem. So the Earth is spinning. You should start like that. The Earth is spinning, and here is the evidence.
He hasn't shut up for a single word of what Spurs said. Didn't shut up for you, Spurs. Just talked constantly, like he's doing now. He's very angry.
I'll mute it in a second and listen to.
He has no intention of shutting up. He's an idiot.
He won't. He's just lost badly, so he's going to talk constantly through everything everybody says.
He's been destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
Just one more question for you, Craig. Just one more question for you, if you can tolerate it. How do my balls taste?
I know he doesn't.
You know, yeah, I know you know because I've teabagged you, mate. Yeah, all you've done is beg the question and then obfuscate the rebuttal, pointing out your logical fallacies. Pathetic. About as useless as every other glober that comes here, I might add.
Is he there? Oh, Nathan, sorry, I was on another call there, my bad.
What, getting help? So pathetic that you need other people to help you out when you're using fallacy to beg the question that the Earth's turning or that you've got a curved Earth to draw a tangent to. You need help with that, do you?
No, I was just having a laugh about you, actually. It was quite.
Oh, right. It's very funny. Well, why don't you actually try and address some of the rebuttals, i.e. the fact that you've used logical fallacy called begging the question, assuming the outcome. When you say, if Earth's turning, that's assuming the thing you're trying to prove.
Right, Nathan.
You don't need to apologise. You're a moron. I expect it. Don't apologise to me.
Nathan, can you be quiet for 10 seconds?
No, you can suck my balls, though, while I teabag you, because you're begging the question every time you try and claim you're proving Earth spinning. By saying, if Earth's spinning, oh, well, wouldn't that be the thing you're trying to prove? That would be assuming it, though, wouldn't it? A logical fallacy.
Oh, no, you can't. You can't be quiet for 10 seconds, can you?
Yeah, I can do whatever I like. It's my show. But I'm glad you're here to be teabagged by me. It's good fun. Showing the audience just how stupid your logic is.
How many are watching?
Yeah, that's right. Your logic is flawed. Fallacious. Stupid. Moron logic. That's what you're using, Craig. And it's good fun pointing that out to my audience.
Nathan, out of interest, how many are watching you right now?
I've no idea.
Well, look at your YouTube.
Sorry, who cares? You've been teabagged because you've asserted Earth is a sphere and turning by way of assuming you've got a tangent to a curved surface, that's begging the question, and stating if Earth is spinning, the premise you're about to try and prove, with a fallacious use of logic.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, terrible. You've done very poorly, Craig. In fact, you've been annihilated. That's what's actually happened here. You've been taken to pieces systematically by a flat earther.
Next question.
Go ahead, 10th.
Shall we? Yeah, let's go to the next question here.
I haven't answered that question yet.
Craig.
Yeah, you use fallacious logic.
Audience size, it means you don't have a rebuttal. We're going to
is there any chance I could answer the question? Because I was asked the question and I never got a chance to answer it.
We're moving on, Craig. You use fallacious logic. I know that in your mind you've denied every single time I've tried to rebut it and talk through it, but that doesn't mean that you weren't rebutted, refuted, and then I stuck my balls in your mouth afterwards. And then we all had a good laugh at you while you were telling us that you were on a phone call. Unbelievably pathetic, but that's what's actually happened now. We're moving on.
Nathan.
Any scientific evidence
I am
of gravity?
streaming on my channel. I was talking to my subs.
Oh, right. That's fascinating. We don't care. We care about the nature of reality. You care about your sub and view count.
Now, is there any chance that I could answer the question I was asked?
No, well, you're not answering questions. You're talking about your sub and view count. You stupid moron. You had the mic. You asked me about how many viewers I had. I said I didn't know. I'm more interested in the argument about the nature of reality than my view count. You, on the other hand, don't have a rebuttal after me pointing out that you begged the question, after reiterating it and summarising it. Your rebuttal is to ask me how many people are watching, because that's what you're interested in, Craig.
Nathan, I haven't even answered the question.
I know, you used a fallacy. I pointed it out, and then you did a lot of pigeon chesting, prevented anybody from saying anything thereafter, and then told us that you were laughing at us after you got teabagged. Denial, obfuscation, every single tactic that every Glober who ever comes ever uses. That's what you've done. And then chuckled when it gets pointed out to you. Moving on. 10th man, go ahead.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
I haven't answered the one about rotation, so I'm going to try and do that, please.
Any scientific evidence of gravity is the question on the table. You've already begged the question for every single question so far. We don't need to go over them 10 times.
Scientific evidence of gravity is quite easily. It's called gravitationally shifted photon. Gravitationally redshifted photons leaving the surface of the Earth.
As exampled by... Do you not know how to make a claim? As exampled by...
As exampled by the photons are redshifted as they leave the surface of the Earth.
And?
Well, why would that happen if gravity isn't
So
real?
don't ask me a question, you unbelievable fucktard. Do you want me to make this proof for you? So immediately into yet another fallacy, asking me to prove it for him. So this is known as a burden of proof reversal fallacy. Ask me how your claim proves what you claim it claims. No, moron. It's your claim. Hello, it is your claim. You don't need to ask me how it proves it, you stupid idiot.
I didn't ask
It's also
you
begging
that.
the question again.
Right, let me...
We'll get to that, Brian.
Let me explain it, or...
Just let Brian repeat himself, Craig, if you can tolerate it.
Yeah, Craig is also begging the question again, as he hasn't proved gravity. He's just showing what would be an effect if gravity might be real. That's all it is, according to him.
Oh my God, scientific illiteracy is hilarious.
Okay, what's the naturally observed phenomena?
Light shifts towards the red spectrum as it leaves the surface of the Earth.
Light shifts to the red spectrum is the phenomena.
Yeah, towards the red end of the spectrum.
Okay,
as it leaves the surface.
No worries.
That's naturally observed phenomenon, right?
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you. There's more to follow, shockingly. And what was the cause of that? The independent variable.
I haven't finished.
What was the cause?
The independent the cause would be gravity, which you can actually alter the independent variable by changing the distance that you measure the photons at.
Sorry, you said gravity, and now you're saying you're varying distance, so you're not varying gravity.
Listen.
I did listen. You said you can vary gravity, and then you said by varying something that isn't gravity.
Okay, I'd agree with you, but you...
Yeah, good job you agree with me, because I'm right, Craig. That's correct. You said you could vary gravity. If it's the independent variable, that's what you'll be varying. Then you described a concept. That would be distance. Not something that you're going to be varying. Not physical, not a cause. A conceptual measurement, maths. That's what distance is. And it's not gravity.
But... Yeah, the fact is that the gravitation...
So you're begging the question. So it's back to ignoring Brian, just telling us what gravity does when you're trying to prove that. I asked you what the dependent variable was, redshift, and according to Craig, if distance, independent variable, then redshift.
Yeah, if you alter the distance that you're measuring...
So the independent variable would be distance then, not gravity. So you're using a mathematical measuring device as an independent cause. So you think distance causes redshift. That's not gravity, you moron.
I'm trying to talk. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not gravity. You've just said if distance, then redshift. That was the apparent science for this shite. So apparently a mathematical construct for measuring things causes redshift. Nothing to do with gravity. You just ignored me, though.
I haven't finished speaking, so it's very hard to hear you.
Yeah, you just keep bitching every time I leave a pause for you to respond. You moan about not getting a chance to speak. Another Glober tactic. You're not acknowledging the fact that you haven't proven gravity with science. You're saying if distance, not if gravity, then redshift. So if distance, maths, then redshift, not gravity.
Can't you? I understand you don't get science, Nathan, but...
This isn't science. Distance doesn't cause redshift.
Distance actually absolutely does in this case. The different distance that you would measure the photon at as it leaves the surface of the Earth would give you a different redshift.
Not gravity then.
Did you hear chocolate? No, he didn't hear. He said it is gravity. So he's varying distance and saying it's gravity. So, like Brian pointed out, just begging the question then.
No, not begging the question.
No, you're just assuming gravity when you say you vary distance. So not scientifically validating it by varying and manipulating gravity as the cause of redshift, but you're varying distance and then just saying it's gravity, which is actually begging the question, Craig.
Not begging, fallacy.
And why does it every time that I point out is begging the question, he comes back with the fallacy? No, that's not a rebuttal, mate.
Undo all the fallacies.
That's not actually a rebuttal to claim that me pointing out where you beg the question, or in this case, Brian pointing out where you beg the question, or your claim that this shite is science when you vary the mathematical construct of distance to cause redshift, and that has literally nothing to do with gravity unless you assume it, begging the question.
I understand that your IQ is around single figures.
That's a lovely ad hominem attack there, Craig. Well, I teabag you. You begged the question again, haven't you, Craig? Yeah? And in response to my rebuttal, you're telling me I'm stupid?
Yes, you are.
That's lovely. Meanwhile, you beg the question, because if distance, then redshift, has no cause or effect relationship that's gravity, but you superimpose gravity onto it, that's begging the question, Craig.
Oh, no, I haven't superimposed gravity.
You're scientifically illiterate, Craig.
Oh, it's not superimposing gravity, so it's not proving gravity then.
It is proving gravity because we know gravity is a function of distance and mass.
Oh, we know! So we automatically assume it. Kind of like begging the question then, really.
No,
I'm not begging the question. We just know it's real.
Yes.
We just know it's real.
No, we
know. It's been proven by something that isn't this thing I'm claiming proves it. Has it been proven by something else now? Because I thought this was scientific evidence of gravity. It isn't. We pummeled it. If distance, then redshift. Not gravity.
Or distance is a function of gravity.
A function of gravity? Ding, ding, ding. Keep begging that question, Craig.
Not begging anything. It's not.
Yeah, you're begging the question.
Tell you gravity is not a force. How is gravity doing anything?
Yeah, I think we've exhausted this. Yeah, you're just begging the questions for every question we ask.
Gravity isn't a force thing.
If anybody was wondering how Craig would get on with the housekeeping questions, now you know. He begs the question for every answer. That's what he does. That's how he got on. He begged the question at every opportunity. He assumed his fundy belief to answer every question.
Hey, Nathan, how'd you convert into kilometers?
Craig, are you doing what George Musa told you to do? That, gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as one? Is that what you're doing right now? Are you thinking of gravity as a force?
I don't need to think of gravity as a force because there is a force created by gravity.
Oh, gravity now creates a force. What's the force that gravity creates? What's that?
It's it creates an acceleration of about 9.8 meters per second squared on Earth.
You haven't. That's a number. You have a name for that force? What's the force that gravity creates? I don't want a number.
An emergent force.
An emergent force? What the hell is that?
You know what emergent means?
Can you define that for us?
Yes, it means it's a consequence.
And can you cite that afterwards?
What's the consequence of?
I didn't hear what you said. Nathan spoke over you.
Can you define emergent force that gravity creates?
Yes, I just did.
And then cite that for us, please.
Yes. Absolutely. Gravity is an emergent force, as in it is a consequence of something else.
Wait. No, it is an emergent force, or it creates one? Because now you're flipping your words. You just said it creates a force. Now you're saying it is the force.
Yes. When we say gravity is a force, that's a colloquial thing, all right? There is a force created by what we call gravity, we call that the force of gravity. Okay.
You?
So the gravity creates the force of gravity? That's what you just said. Are you serious?
No, I said that.
Do you know what you're saying right now, Craig?
Oh yeah, can you demonstrate that?
Yeah, this has been demonstrated many times.
What seem to be stuttering, Craig? Does gravity create the force of gravity? Because that's what you just said. Or is it the emergent force that you are about to cite for us? Which one is it?
What I am saying is that there is a force that is measurable. Okay, we call that the force of gravity. All right, but gravity is what is creating the force.
Force and gravity. So you said it again.
Yeah, you said it again.
I'm trying What's this measurement, Craig, please? You said gravity, it's measurable. Right? What's the measurement, please?
Hold on, that's not the question. We want scientific evidence.
You're trying to prove gravity.
Different questions. Okay.
What's your scientific evidence of gravity? So far, we haven't had any.
Redshifted photons leaving the surface of the Earth.
You said the cause of that was distance.
Which is a function of gravity.
Oh, so you just begged the question that gravity was part of this non-experiment. Yeah, we pointed that out and you ignored it.
Oh, because you're wrong.
Oh, I'm wrong? No, it's definitely a fallacy. Look up begging the question. Maybe tell me that I'm guilty of the fallacy?
Maybe look up fallacy.
Yeah, how predictable is Craig?
Oh, how predictable is Nathan?
Yeah, and you're not smelly either.
So
you begged the question. Yeah, we covered this. You don't have to just whistle past it each time, Craig.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, you superimposed your fundamentalist religious gravity belief onto a non-experiment. If we have distance, then we have redshift. What was that experiment called?
I'll have to get the actual...
So you don't even know what the experiment's called?
There's many different...
I don't care about how many different there is, you ignorant twat. You're thick. You don't even know the name of this claimed experiment that proves gravity, and you don't even know the name of it.
The Pound Rebecca experiment.
Pound Rebecca experiment. And she proved gravity, did she?
Wow.
Oh my goodness me. You just think because the word Rebecca...
Sorry, did she or did she not... Shut up, chocolate. Did she or did she not prove gravity with this experiment? Yes or no? She did.
Who are you talking about?
It's your citation. Who am I talking about? No, nobody.
I didn't say there was a woman called Rebecca.
Whoever this citation of yours is, does it prove gravity with this experiment? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Go on then.
It does.
Let's see the citation. Post it in live stream. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look.
It's more than a citation. It's an entire paper.
That's fascinating. And the IV was distance, the DV was redshift, right?
Yeah.
That's not gravity.
And as you know...
No, that's right. Not gravity, not scientific evidence thereof.
No, again, I'd agree with you, but we'd both be wrong.
Yeah, you could agree with me, but I'm right. It's not scientific evidence of gravity. If the IV, that would be the thing that's varied, is distance, not a cause, I might add. And the DV is redshift. There's no gravity in there, mate. Don't you get it?
Yeah. No, you don't get it because...
No, it's me. I don't understand. It's not if gravity, then redshift. It's distance. So not proving gravity, moron.
No. The difference in distance creates a difference in gravity because Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared.
Oh, so the dv is now gravity. I thought the dv was redshift. Why is it now changed from redshift to gravity?
No, I know that Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared.
Sorry, why has the dependent variable now changed to gravity? Because now we've got if distance then gravity. It was if distance then redshift.
No,
I know. You've changed the dependent variable from redshift to gravity.
I haven't changed it. You just don't understand what I'm saying. It's fine. I understand, Nathan.
No, I do. I'm not thick, and I can pay attention to what people say and the words that they use and formulate that into nonsense and then point out their nonsense back to them pretty swiftly, actually, Craig.
We write it down, Craig. We know what you say.
Yeah, I don't need to write it down. I can listen. I pay attention quite closely to what people say.
So, you vary distance, therefore you vary gravity.
So, therefore the dv is now gravity. So, if distance, then gravity. So, you have now changed the dv from redshift to gravity.
No, I haven't, because gravity...
yeah, you have. That is precisely what you've just done. What you've done is told me that you haven't done that. I've pointed out that you have and how you have, and then after telling me that you haven't, you've then done it immediately again.
I understand you don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand that it was if distance then redshift, proving apparently gravity scientifically, and when I point out that there's no gravity in that, he then substitutes redshift for if distance then gravity. So you've just substituted the dv in this non-science. to superimpose your fundamentalist religious assertion and belief in gravity as a begging the question fallacy on this non-science by changing the DV from redshift to gravity.
How do you vary gravity, Nathan?
So now you're asking me a question. So it's burden of proof reversal fallacy number 2. This isn't my claim. This is not scientific evidence of gravity, Craig. It's not scientific evidence of what you've claimed. Then you've imposed gravity as the dependent variable. I've had to point it out 3 times. You don't listen. You're very stupid.
And are you able to answer a question?
I'm not. I've already asked a question. Scientific evidence of gravity. You tell us if distance, then redshift. I point out no gravity in that then, and you say if distance, variation in gravitational attraction. Well, that's changing the dependent variable, Craig.
No, are you able to answer a question, little man?
So you keep ad-homming me. Rather than addressing the rebuttal that demolishes your argument. Of course, I forgot. I didn't recognise. My balls are in his mouth. So it's obviously me not answering a question, followed by an ad-hom. Right, Craig?
I don't think you know what an ad-hom is either.
Yeah, it's when you don't address the argument. In this case, we rebutted your argument. And therefore, you, as the opponent, have the opportunity to challenge my rebuttal. Instead, you just need to spew.
Can I ask you a question, or are you just going to keep shouting like a little lady?
Craig, you're at the point of illiteracy with how little you know about debating.
Arwen, I'm sorry, I get too excited when I'm watching your stream.
Really pathetic.
You can ask me. You can answer me a question if you can repeat my rebuttal. Let's see how we get on.
Like honestly, you're.
If you can demonstrate, okay. If you can shut up, he's too triggered though. Clearly, he won't shut up. Yeah, too triggered. Too triggered. Too triggered. Calm down. Take a chill pill, Craig. Calm down. Take a breath. It's all okay. Calm down, Craig. Calm down. Calm down.
Arwen's here.
Got to treat him like a child. Try to calm down, Craig. It's all under control. I know this is stressful.
Calm down, man. Relax.
Right.
And Arwen's here.
Yeah, he's just too triggered.
For his audience.
Arwen, stop talking. Oh, Arwen, please, you're getting too excited.
Yeah, that's how you sound a little bit, bro. Relax. We understand you're nervous because you're not sure what the hell you're saying, and you're still going to provide us a citation for the force that gravity creates, right? Because you did say that gravity is not a force, but it creates a force. You called it an emergent force. Can you describe that to us and cite it for us, please? Or was that not the force that you were talking about that in your experiment that did actually vary that? You were varying distance.
He has the ability to put down a consistent train of thought and grounded in logic. He's just a so-story blabberer. Nothing he said so far makes any damn sense at all.
Arwen, you're too excited.
He's got measurements of this force.
Every time.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, just saying he even claimed he had measurements of the force, whatever this force is, this emergent force.
The force created by gravity or the force of gravity? Because he seems to be confused right now. Which one is it, correct?
Yeah, he wasn't clear about that.
I think he
Which one is it?
I think he wants to distance himself from this question. Let's move on to the next one.
Go ahead.
Any single viable hypotheses from any of the fields of cosmology,
how do you vary gravity?
Craig, you seem to be triggered by this question. I'll try again. Go ahead, 10th.
Any single viable hypotheses
yeah, he is. He's definitely triggered by it. I'm sorry, 10th. Our guest can't tolerate this question. Obviously disturbing for him. Try a third time.
I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, that's because you didn't shut up. We'll try a third time. Go ahead, 10th.
Any single viable hypotheses from any of the fields of cosmology,
yeah, he can't tolerate it. It's too triggered.
Shut up!
Yeah, it's too triggered. Can't cope with these questions.
Shut up.
Try a fourth time, 10th.
So, Nathan, how do you vary gravity?
You're really going to do that every time, Clown?
Yeah, he is. He's scared of the questions.
You're really going to do that every time. You're a clown, bro.
So if he told his audience he was coming here to answer housekeeping questions, he lied to you. Because what he's actually doing is talking through the housekeeping questions rather than answering them now, isn't he? He's not letting them be asked.
Nathan, how many...
Okay, I understand. Craig, you're scared of the housekeeping questions. We know. You won't tolerate them being asked. Because then you might have to answer them, right? Maybe you'll be begging the question again pretty quickly if you actually let one be delivered.
Nathan, how do you vary gravity?
No gravity. That's your claim. So let me just point out, he wanted to interrupt. So let's just point out to the audience what he wanted to interrupt for. He wanted to reverse the burden of proof for the third time. He wanted to get me to demonstrate what gravity is. Even though that was the end of the last housekeeping question, and yet again he begged the question, he now needs to reverse the burden of proof for the third time by constantly obfuscating this housekeeping question that 10th man's not getting to ask.
Oh, no, I'm asking you a question, Nathan, until you
you're asking me to prove you're claiming gravity. I know, I've just pointed out that that's a burden of proof reversal fallacy. You seem to be using quite a lot of fallacies, Craig. What's your problem?
I'm asking how you would vary it, but you.
How I would vary gravity, the thing you're claiming. Wow. Maybe reverse that burden of proof again. Maybe if you just ignore me by talking through me, you won't catch that I'm pummeling you for a live audience.
Nathan, but in an experiment, how would you vary gravity?
It's your claim, not mine, you moron.
What's gravity?
It's his claim. He's reversing the burden of proof and then constantly filibustering, right?
So when I tell you how to vary gravity, you then go, no, that's not varying gravity.
You haven't told us how to prove gravity yet.
Yeah, because it's not.
He's a distance. Yeah, he's a liar.
Question.
Right, 10th. He didn't say he was varying gravity. He said he was varying distance to cause gravity after he changed the dependent variable in this non-experiment. Now he's saying that he can vary gravity, so now he's going to substitute the IV for gravity, it would seem.
Correct.
Nathan, I don't think you even know what an IV is.
Oh, right, I don't know what an IV is. So it's not, I am about to claim that it's the cause I'm going to vary. Yeah, even though previously the cause was distance, and now it's going to be you varying gravity. So now the IV is gravity. Wasn't it the DV a minute ago? Oh, my bad, that was redshift. It's all very confusing, Craig. I don't understand. I can't keep up and pay attention to this nonsense, right?
Cool. So Nathan, in the experiment...
Not cool, mate. A pummeling for you.
Let's move on. You lost this one again. Let's move on. Any single viable hypotheses from any of the fields of cosmology, astronomy, or astrophysics?
An experiment.
Is it safe to say that Fight the Flat Earth is a pseudoscientist?
I'm not a scientist at all.
Well, that's a good note to end on. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Once again, stay tuned if you are watching on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
I mean, I almost fell off my chair.
Gravity creates the force of gravity.
Doesn't know what a fallacy is.
Yeah, but he said it was
just meaning it,
and then he switches distance as an IV to gravity as the IV. So he's saying gravity creates gravity because he also said redshift, and then he switched redshift to gravity. He was moving around like a scared rabbit being chased by a leopard.
Is he still here?
Let's not let him
you
turn
came in here, right? Nathan, let you speak. Let you say your piece. Soon as
get him, Brummy.
Yeah.
Get him, Brummy.
What I'll do is I'll mute myself in the Discord server just temporarily so we can dissect it and they can feel free to have their little row or whatever, and then we'll come back to them. Hey, Adam.
Yeah, hey, Adam.
What's up, Adam?
Go ahead, Brian. I can see you're itching.
Hi, guys. Sorry.
That's okay.
That was classic. There's a time when you want to interrupt, but just to sit back and listen to that was hilarious, guys. Oh,
hey, Anthony. Hey, Sleeping Warrior.
All right, Tony.
Anthony.
Redshift proves gravity now, apparently.
What a joke.
Yeah, the question he was asked is there any scientific evidence of gravity? And he did everything he could to not come up with that. He begged the question, did everything.
How is light even going to prove gravity, you know? The original idea about the universe expanding because of redshift, okay, it's begging the question, but yeah, you can imagine it. I'm pretty sure that light really doesn't have any mass to be subjected to theoretical gravity in the first place, so it's completely chaotic.
True.
What? It goes further than that, doesn't it? Because it's not even just disprove gravity. It's you don't have to fucking formulate arguments for gravity for the opponent you are debating.
Exactly.
That's kind of the
there are no arguments for gravity. There's evidence.
What up, crack?
Commander,
and you claiming it's disproven, and then you need to show how.
Shut up, Rick. Shut up, Rick. You're an idiot.
Yeah, that's right. We need to just accept you begging the question that it exists, and then we need to disprove this premise that you're trying to prove. Yeah, you guys know how to reverse the burden of proof, surely enough, don't you?
No, it's not.
No, that's about as good as Craig's response. No.
Nathan, let him say his piece. And once
Ballers, you're not going to trick us in making your model for you.
Is Fight the Tight Shirt still here?
Than you, but we're not
no, Arwin. You have to make your own model. If fail to do that,
if something is proven, hang on 1 second. Hang on, Ed. If something is proven, then there is no need to try to disprove it. Either it's proven or it's not.
You need to replace anything to point out how stupid your arguments are. Get it?
The only thing, the only thing that you have is arguments. You're working on arguments. But that's not the
yeah, we're destroying your. We're destroying your.
That's not the currency we're dealing in. We're dealing in evidence, right? And when you're dealing in evidence and saying something is ridiculous, disproven, then you need to show how you did that. You need to show how you attempted to work with it. How you entertained the bar, and then
one at a time,
and then correctly teach how you
We are showing on how.
You're not showing anything. You're arguing. That's the point.
Listen, bro.
You just had
any evidence.
We're
showing arguments. You're arguing. You're not showing anything. That's the point.
I talk shit all day. My name's Pickle Rick. I never make any fucking sense every time I open my fucking stupid mouth.
Listen,
man. You're the dumbest guy in the room, Pickle Rick. You're the dumbest guy in the room. Right.
Yeah, so what's your evidence for flat Earth?
Commander.
We don't need to.
Commander,
you're right. For flat Earth. Did you figure out which way your globe is spinning yet?
Anyway.
Pickle Rick, are you gonna let me say what I want to say?
Fuck Pickle Rick. He chats shit. He talks out.
When you're saying something, I'm not gonna interrupt you.
Give me 10 seconds. Please give me 10 seconds. I just want to say that we're showing with sane and logical argument, how your so-called evidence is nothing. It's
you
nothing.
Make no evidence.
You guys have no evidence. We're showing it.
Yeah, you haven't either, because we've ripped it all to pieces, haven't we, Pickle Rick? Yeah.
There was definitely evidence.
Can I say something? An argument evidence, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not turn into
no, you can't.
ballers now. Come on, get some organization.
Go on, Paul. Go ahead.
At Masto.
Hold on 1 second, dude. Hold on, just 1 sec. Just 1 sec, dude. Hello, go ahead, Paul.
Okay. Well, when you present evidence, you have to make an argument to show that your evidence points to what you're trying to prove. So if you can't get your argument right, it will disprove your evidence. That's it. That's all.
No, you're just denying the argument or the evidence.
Shut up, man. Is he finished talking? No, shut up.
Oh, that in the city, get someone there. Some people felt like that. There's no need for it. I don't care how. Just there's no need.
Just let the man finish. Go on, finish what
evidence
you're saying.
for what? What's this evidence we're talking about? What do you have evidence for, Master?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I think in theory. I don't think they was talking about a literal example.
Oh, no literal evidence. Just we're hypothetical right now? Is that what we're doing? Or are we just What are we doing? What are we talking about?
We're not
Measuring
working at
the
the radius
imaginary
level.
line again.
What?
I love when the question was about the. I love when the question was about the spinning ball, and he started with saying if the Earth is spinning. That was
right. That's a perfect argument. If the Earth was spinning, you would be able to measure it, right? If you had a wart on your penis, you'd be able to see it.
We do.
That's a fact, right?
We don't want to know about what's going on.
Hold on. I just need to establish, was that projection? Have you recently had a wart on your penis?
Hold the fuck up, Nate.
Well, I wanted to.
That's just gross, bro.
Because Masto said all we do is have arguments. Do you know what an axiom is?
Chat.
An axiom.
You know, that being a statement that is self-evidently true. And so when you look to eclipses, the Selenilian eclipse, for example, it's obviously not the Earth causing the shadow because there's nothing to point to that as the case.
Check it out. Hold on. Check it out. So you hold the axiom that it's a shadow, do you?
What? What about star rotation depending on which side you're on the equator?
Is that
just rotation? That's a little weird, that star rotation thing, because we're told that the stars are rotating because we're on a spinning ball. So can any of the globers tell us why?
They appear to rotate.
Why do they still spin when you get off the ball?
They appear to rotate.
No, let me finish.
Yeah.
If you
can't get off the
Again,
ball.
you're shouting ahead of me to try and move the goalpost, but let me finish.
Okay, fine. Who's speaking?
They
What's
appear
your
to
name?
rotate.
We'll
They
clear
appear
air
to
for
rotate.
you. My friend, what's your name?
They appear to rotate.
Yeah. Is that all you wanted to add? They appear to rotate. Yeah, they appear to rotate.
I keep getting interrupted, don't I? So until you shut up, I can't make that point.
What's your name?
Well, we all heard you. Go on.
Okay, right. So what it is
Shut up, Reed.
stars rotate, or the stars appear to us to rotate east to west. But depending on which side of the equator we'll see them. We'll see them.
Guys, who's talking? Right, whoever that is, please. I just want the guy to lay down his claim, and then...
yourself look like a rude
guy, I'm trying to defend you. Hello? Whoever's talking through this guy, please just let him get to the end of his claim. Then I'd just like to address it with him, hopefully cordially, without everybody interrupting us. So, Commander, feel free to go through your full example. I'll stop anyone interrupting you.
Is there any way you can explain on a flat plane why I can see on different sides of the equator stars rotating in a different direction?
Okay. Now, if I may, can I say? Oh my God! I've just asked you to shut up.
Shut up.
Okay, go
Commander,
on.
Commander. So can I respond to you? Hopefully, it will remain cordial without interruption from everybody else. We'll see how we get on. So, your assertion is that we see star rotation in one hemisphere, and then we see it in the other hemisphere when we travel.
Hemisphere. I said equator, but yeah, we'll go with hemisphere.
Well, I'm asking you. It's your claim.
Yeah, hemisphere. Yeah, go on.
Well, that's begging the question.
No. You said the word hemisphere. I avoid saying the word hemisphere because everyone says, "Oh, you're assuming the globe."
Okay, no worries. No worries. Okay, no problem. Explain to me in detail how your example of star rotation proves we're on a spherical surface.
Right. Just think about it in your head for a second. Think about you on a flat surface, and I'm looking in one direction. Right. How the fuck, if I go on to a different side of the equator, could I see stars rotating in a different direction?
Yeah, that's a fascinating question. And even if I say I do know, I don't know, or I give you a rendition of my bad, I'm trying to explain an answer. Obviously, I'm being spoken through by Commander, who's moaned constantly that he's
I apologise, and I'm going to let you speak.
You just need to shut up.
Oh, I am.
So I fail to understand, given that your example started with a flat plane, how this in any way, shape or form proves a sphere.
Right.
My bad, my friend. I just need to get to the end of one of my sentences. I cleared the air for you, did I not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you extend me the same courtesy?
Sorry?
Can you extend me the same courtesy, please?
Yes, I can, Nathan.
Thank you. That means please don't interrupt me for the third time. I fail to understand literally after the first word. I fail to appreciate how you exampling something on a flat plane with a ponderance at the end in any way, shape or form proves a spherical surface. Maybe you'd like to explain it to me.
I did, and then you. All right. How on a flat plane?
Yeah, I heard. I'll repeat.
Okay. Now.
I can
What?
answer it for you, Commander, if you want.
Shut up. Whoever that is, shut up. Can you not understand? Two people talking doesn't need a third to interrupt. Go ahead, Commander.
Sorry, Nathan.
Can I just wanted to say something. You're being really calm now. You know, me and you were having a normal conversation. But when Fight the Flat Earth was in here, you just kept shouting for no reason at all. And you made yourself.
Sorry, everyone else. I don't want to have to shut everyone down when I've asked 5 times for everyone else to stop interrupting him. And now he's interrupting me, of course. That's why I get angry, mate, because constant interruptions from people like yourself, like right now, that's irritating. I'm just trying to detail something that you failed to acknowledge. And the reason you failed to acknowledge it is because, like now, you're continually talking through it. So I'll attempt again to point out that your example doesn't prove a sphere. A question about how something works on a flat plane also does not prove a sphere, and you're still talking through me. That's why you get shouted at, because I'm still talking. This is irritating, mate. You want to obfuscate, and it's irritating. I haven't finished my statement. On 4 occasions, you've talked through it. You're still doing it. I asked if you'd extend me the same courtesy.
Oh my God,
said yes.
Shut your little fucking mouth.
All right.
Yeah, I asked if you'd extend me the same courtesy. You said you would. You lied. That makes you a cunt. So, cunt, shut your mouth. You haven't exampled a proof of a sphere in your example. You've asked me a question about how a flat plane works. That doesn't prove a sphere. Now, the point of me saying this is that I've already exampled how this example is claimed to prove a sphere, and it comes with a begging the question fallacy that involves hemispheres. Now, unless you assert that, this does not prove a sphere. Now, you reversing the burden of proof and asking me to justify something also does not prove sphere. So this example's meaningless, other than your ponderance about what I think about it when I move past an arbitrary point you call the equator. Okay?
Right. I never said.
Can I answer, Commander?
I never said it disproves a sphere.
Commander,
It proves a sphere, sorry. What I did say, and what I meant was, but you didn't let me finish, you just shouted over me and called me a cunt. What I did say is that it very evidently disproves a flat plane.
Right, who gives a shit when your positive assertion is that the Earth is a sphere?
No, it isn't.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Just one question, mate. Is the issue that the stars appear to turn in different directions, or is it that there's 2 rotation points? Which is it?
They appear to rotate in different directions.
Oh, he's a thicko.
Hey, good. Nathan, this guy's a time waster. This has been explained to him greater than 20 times over on 24/7. He's a numpty dip.
Do stars move from east to west?
Nathan.
Yeah, I've just kicked him out.
Yeah.
So, moron. All the stars rise in the east and set in the west. They don't turn in different directions. You're a moron.
That's only caused by the observer turning around 180 himself. I thought most of us knew this.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah, we know this.
Including him by the sounds of things.
Don't worry about it. You can move on.
Yeah, just that's what we've got on the globe side. People here to waste a lot of time.
Any proof?
I hope his audience heard that.
I missed something.
Yes, you did.
Sorry about that. I sleep on that.
Not really. Just another day at the office, actually, QE.
That's true, yeah.
I can't wait to listen to it back, man.
Hey, Spurs showing. Guys, had we finished housekeeping yet?
Could I answer Commander's question?
Can you hear me?
No, he's gone.
It's already been answered many times.
No. Yeah, we do hear you.
All right.
I had to mute Spurs earlier. Is he still here?
I just want to know if Spurs Chemo is still here.
He is. He's not on mute.
Spurs, answer me if you can listen.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, now
we
back
didn't
to
finish
the
No, we didn't finish the
I'm
housekeeping.
talking to Spurs Chemo. Hi.
Always ask the question.
Neil, please show some respect.
Can the Christians sort this out amongst themselves, please?
First, back to the pre-show. How did it turn out?
That was pretty fantastic. Yeah, when he just kept presupposing, begging. It was just so glaringly obvious. I think he realised that and was just trying to explain it away with rhetoric. So yeah, good stuff.
Apparently, you can say anything now these days.
Did anyone ask him the difference between angular velocity and tangential speed by chance?
No.
Okay.
He wasn't listening to anything. He was talking to the whole thing.
Yeah, he was broadcast. What's going on is their tactic is to talk through every response. Now he's got his own audience listening, so he thinks that because he's going to talk through every response, that will achieve his end of his audience, which is to say they won't hear anything I've got to say. Now, when people say, "Why don't you go over here, there, and everywhere?" Well, you got to hear if you watch this on Flat Earth, Fight the Flat Earth's channel. Why? Because every time I tried to respond, he'd filibuster and talk through every word of it, so it doesn't get heard. And if it doesn't get heard, it doesn't need to be addressed. Now here, I can just close the Discord line down. Oh, right, you want to talk through my response? Well, I've got an audience too. And they will hear. They'll also hear and have it pointed out that you're just filibustering every response. Because when it's pointed out, for example, that you beg the question to every single question asked, that's going to be embarrassing if that's allowed to come through the airwaves. So they don't tolerate it. They filibuster so that his audience won't get to hear it, while my audience gets to hear the response, the rebuttal. Unlike what would happen if I went anywhere else where they wouldn't tolerate it, as he's just exampled. He's not going to allow any response. I don't doubt for 1 second that Neil didn't hear a single response from me clearly. Correct, Neil?
I didn't hear anything but his stupid voice.
So he talked non-stop to prevent any response, correct?
Correct.
Right, that's all they've got. Shut down the response, censor it. That's all he did. And his audience got to see it.
Nice projection.
Did he claim victory and then do the pigeon chest move?
Yeah, of course he will.
It's the usual, you don't understand, you don't get maths.
Schoolgirl giggling, though. And then he said something kind of funny. I asked him about gravity, because, George Bush told him gravity is not a force, but you could think of it as one. And he said, I'm not thinking of it as a force. It causes an emergent force.
What the hell?
Yeah, gravity causes gravity force.
So I was like, so gravity causes an emergent force. What's the emergent force? And then at some point he called it the force of gravity. So I said, so gravity causes the force of gravity. Thanks.
Don't worry about it.
Guys.
I'm not going to what's all the racket?
Whether it's not to show full issue or whatever. But
what the hell?
It's very loud today, John. Everything is over talking.
I've sorted it. Somebody with their
someone has their show.
I've sorted it.
Yeah. So I don't need a review. I'll go back and listen to it. Thanks.
Yeah.
It was special, all right. Every time we called him on begging the question fallacy, he would call a fallacy on that. It's so dumb. Dumb.
What I will say about it is that the nonsense he was doing,
redshift and the distance.
What?
Redshift and the distance where he.
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
Sorry.
I know you did.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, just a moment. What I will say about it is that all the kind of giggling and all that he was doing, I reckon that got tiresome to his audience because he suddenly started trying to debate and stopped the giggling about 3/4 way, maybe about 60% of the way through, and he tried to debate because I reckon his audience were had enough of him because all he was doing was trying to make a joke of the whole thing. But then when he had to actually debate, he tried to debate and he just did terrible. He was horrendous.
You're right.
It sounded like somebody was beating him too.
He was only spouting out ad homs against Nathan the second half of the entire thing. Just ad homs every time.
Somebody said redshift. What was up with the red? Where would redshift come in?
Redshift. Scientific evidence of gravity. His claim was an experiment, if distance, then redshift. Then he substituted. The dependent variable from redshift to gravity. So if distance, then you vary the amount of gravitational attraction, which I pointed out he didn't like and filibustered. Then he changed the independent variable, the thing is varying from gravity. So if you vary the gravity, was what he wanted to go on to. We all laughed.
What the hell does redshift? Wait, what?
He didn't have a proof of gravity.
I know, right?
It was all pointed out to him. Undoubtedly, his audience didn't get to hear a word I said.
Something about gravity causing the redshift of photons.
What?
Yeah, apparently he thinks that gravity slows down photons moving away from the Earth. That's kind of what he tried to put in. It's the most ludicrous thing I ever heard.
Do you know what was more interesting? Ranty was in his chat.
I thought the triangles were worse.
Really?
What's that, Sleeping Warrior?
Ranty was in his thingy, apparently. If you look at the title of his show on his channel, he says, blah, 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 and Ranty Flat Earth. So I think either Ranty's either on it, or he's due on it, or he's been on it. But I think he might have been there.
So what?
Yeah, Ranty was on it this morning, twice.
Yeah, but so what? Why is that interesting? I'm not saying it's not interesting. Great for Ranty, but why are you pointing it out?
Well, whilst he was live with you, like I think he changes the name whilst he's live to show who's on at the time, and I think Ranty might have been in the background on his panel. It would have been. It's just interesting that Ranty was there, that obviously being a flat earther, and then Nathan's on against Fight the Flat Earth. It's like
no, that didn't happen, Anthony. Ranty was on this morning early. Showed his.
Are you saying Ranty is coaching Craig?
No, not coaching Craig. Just
what? No. He went on. They had a big argument, because he came back on because they were saying, Ranty's lying about something, and he came back on to clear something up about the height of a boat that was missing. No, Ranty was going at them hard this morning.
Let's get back to the DV and I.
Hold on. Sorry. Yeah, I do want to get back to that, but I would like to know how he got on, Chemo.
Yeah, he did great. Like I said, he showed the boat, the causes, the reasons why, and he explained how much was missing. They challenged and said, "Oh no, there's about 90 foot missing or 80 foot."
90 foot missing. So they ignored all angular relationships and just detailed the feet and inches value that doesn't change with distance, as per usual. Then.
Yeah. So, but the point was that they said, Ranty's lying. They've got it wrong, and then he heard them and he came back on later and said, I'm not having you saying I'm lying. He measured each, and then Craig was like, oh yeah, it's about 25, 30 foot or something like that. Yeah, they weren't pally like that, and sure they were. It was because they kept saying, Ranty proves the globe, and he was like, didn't like that at all. So he was like,
was it a good conversation or was it bitchy?
Hey?
Was it a good conversation or was Fight the Flat Earth bitchy?
Pretty much. He had other guys with him talking, so it was more this other guy, this younger guy.
He always needs other guys, it seems, right?
He was running away. That's what happened.
I'm shocked. I was shocked that does Ranty still? Is he on YouTube still?
Yeah.
Is he?
Really?
Every night.
I don't know. I'm not anymore.
I'm not subbed either, but I'm sure he's fighting the good fight, right, Kibo?
He's done a fantastic, not experiment, but to demonstrate the black swan and how mountains sink. So I don't know if you've seen his laser testing. It's great because I was speaking with Flat and Destruction, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this mountain," and Zanuck. So one mountain is lower than the mountain that's in front of it, when it should be higher. But with this explanation, Ranty shows, look, the light is just doing it, it's sinking and putting it down. So yeah, he's got a great argument to explain observation.
But Spores, it's not just that. That thing I show with perspective, with making a parallel, that's what causes it. Same thing. It's perspective, not just refraction. It's perspective.
Right, and they
so Randy's not 100% correct.
Yeah, they ignore it in their mathematics, as exampled by them asking how many feet and inches are missing. Well, it doesn't matter if the observation's at 10 miles, 30 miles, or 30 million miles. That value attributed to how much is or isn't missing, according to them hidden by the physical geometric sphere edge horizon, that value doesn't change with distance. So if there's 10 feet missing, it's always 10 feet at any distance. In other words, that aspect of their maths ignores, excludes, and to be more realistic, hijacks the effects of perspective to call them Earth curve. Feet and inches don't change with distance.
And Zanuck does this other little trick as well, where he takes the height of the peak at the highest point, which is taken from the foot of the mountain, and he discreetly picks these individualistically to come at you in an argument, and then does not include the actual protrusionary angle of the actual mountain, and then takes a distance very far away, and then says it's Earth curve as to why that appears lower than a mountain to the right of it.
Well exampled.
Behind.
Exactly. They hijack perspective and call it Earth curve. Yeah, it's a hijacking of perspective.
Exactly. But yeah, he doesn't take
Nathan we toe tagged him with that nonsense. Zanuck, friggin' Milli Vanilli. We toe tagged him about 2 years ago with that same friggin' photo. Remember that, Nathan?
Yeah, all they do is circle jerk. Once they get pummeled here, they go somewhere else and pummel the same thing, sometimes within minutes of leaving.
Yep.
Now, can we do a segue since we used the word distance?
Why?
I just want to say one thing. I've heard.
Hold on, Brian. Hold on, Brian. Hold on. 10th man's been trying to get a word in for ages. Go ahead, 10th.
Yeah, I think when we listen back to it, the most damning part for Fight the Flat Earth is going to be when he talked about gravity and the scientific method, and he started with redshift as the dependent variable, and then later changed it to gravity. But going on the first time he did, he said, you asked him what the dependent variable was. He said redshift. And then you said, what's the IV? And he said distance. Now, that was very interesting. So he's going to vary distance to get redshift. And said dV is gravity and distance is gravity. It is hilarious. This guy doesn't understand the scientific method or dV, IV, control variables, or anything.
Wasn't he trying to prove gravity?
Yeah.
The guy doesn't even understand what a fallacy is. I really think it's that bad.
No, he wasn't trying to prove gravity. He was trying to prove the force of gravity that gravity creates. Simple.
Well, that experiment
Nathan, wasn't he trying to make you manipulate the variables in terms of with gravity? How would you measure gravity?
Yeah, reverse the burden of proof as well. Yeah, that's correct.
How would you vary?
That was fucking brilliant.
It's your claim, asswipe. What's the matter with you?
That was hilarious, honestly. I was like, what? What's really happening?
Hey, can I say something real quick? What I thought the best part of that was when Nathan told him to suck his balls, and he said, I would, but he doesn't have any.
Wow.
What about what I said? I said Nathan don't have them.
He said he would.
Okay.
Did you hear retard baller?
I like that
retard baller.
We're into
You
critiquing
say
the ad homs.
black swan fallacy, right? Let's shift over to this. You don't even know what the black swan fallacy is. You say you're the ones invoking it, you numpty dipshits. The black swan fallacy is Karl Popper's problem with induction. The black swan fallacy is, listen up, crayon munchers. Get your slobber nurses near so they can translate. The black swan fallacy is all swans are white. You retards.
What?
You're the one invoking it.
Why are we having to point this out? Hold on, it's 9 months since this argument came out, and it was the first thing we did was took painstaking efforts to first explain the Karl Popper analogy and the black swan fallacy, and then explain how our example fits in with it. So we're now 9 months down the line having to explain Karl Popper to them. My God.
These people are retarded, man.
They're charging us with the black swan fallacy while committing the black swan fallacy.
It's unbelievable.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Unorthodox did it the day before yesterday. He brought it up. What's a black swan fallacy? He came out 2 days after the black swan. Remember when Unorthodox came out with his little video and we were laughing at him?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brought it right back up, and these guys are in the chat, right in her chat skanking. What's the black swan fallacy?
Oh my God, these people are so thick. I mean, maybe the fact that they've at least looked into the fallacy to then, after reading it, going, well, they're guilty of this somehow, not recognising how it's been utilised. But at least they're getting some research done, right?
Unbelievable, man.
I can't wait to hear the re-up.
So, Mole Man, is Mole Man in here?
He's on server mute at the moment. Oh no, that's Ed. Yeah, he is.
Mole Man, do you understand what the black swan fallacy is? Not. Oh boy. Who else? Sorry.
Oh no, Mole Man's about to answer you. Go ahead, Mole Man. No, he's got a problem. With his mic. He's got a problem with his mic, I think.
I would too.
I'm actually fairly confident we've asked Mole Man before, and he has actually detailed it back to us or given us a rendition. I could be wrong.
Is that Masto still in there? Or Pickle Dick or Ratio, whatever the hell he's calling himself today? He in there?
Wait there. Let me look. No, he's not in here.
We can go with Fritz. Google Schrank. Fritz, come off mute and share your pain.
Yeah, there you
come
go.
on.
We just want. I was about to say a fundy. Spare the ad homs. We just want somebody on the Globe side of the argument to say, "Yeah, I understand the black swan," and then just tell us what it is. That's all we're asking.
I can do it in about 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll keep the show open. I was confident that you would be able to actually, Mole Man. I'm pretty sure you've done it before. But he's busy. I don't.
Can I say something while there's a bit of data?
Perfect. Sorry, yeah, Mole Man's going to be 5. So yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I just want to comment on quickly on what Zanuck and George Netchuk, what's the surveyor, Jesse Kozlowski, and some others are doing. You know all this stuff where they're saying something in the distance is dropped when it shouldn't have, when it's supposed to be in a horizontal or it's supposed to be higher than the observer or whatever. What they're always doing is they're not taking measurements from the base of the mountain or whatever, because they're also referencing airplanes. They're taking the altitude off of or height off of water. It's always off of water. It's always off of mean sea level or it's over a lake. Right, and what that does is it creates a parallel, the lake or the water on the ocean, and their horizontal vision. And this parallel then, once they have that parallel, that causes the effect with angular size change over once you make a distance from an object. It causes the effect of the appearance of it dropping in your view. It hasn't actually. It just appears to have done because your field of view has grown. But they always have to use a flat surface, and that's why I was able to show this exact same thing on a hard surface. But I had to use a plumb bob function on an app to make sure that I was told that my camera on my phone was making a parallel with the surface. So when all the ballers and that they try and go against it and they try and focus on the objects, it's the surface you have to focus on, because that's what George Netchuk, that's what Zanuck is focusing on. That is what Jesse Kozlowski is focusing on. They're all focusing on the actual surface. All our measurements are coming off the surface. So it's the surface is what you have to focus on. And once you focus on that, and that has to be flat for the effect to happen.
Okay, let's solve it. Angular size change. Okay, we can move on.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's a little bit more complicated than that. Sorry.
Well, it is,
No,
but
it's not.
But that was the rebuttal that Craig got from me.
It's not more complicated than
that. As far as proving what I'm saying, the surface is important. It is angular size change. There's no argument there. but showing it what I'm talking about and their argument. What I'm doing is I'm showing how their argument is actually happening over a flat plane.
Yeah, correct. But they assume it's curved. Yeah. That's where we get, Bev with this endless circle argument about is flat curved, because they assume it's curved. Now you're saying to perform your measurements, it's got to be flat, and they're utilising their horizontal as flat. But their assertion is that is actually curved. That which you called horizontal, they assume is curved.
All right. No, that's correct. That's correct. But I've seen it on the flat outside. Sorry, 1 second, I just want to finish this. I've seen it on the flat outside where people on the flat outside agreed with them that what I was showing and other people were showing the same thing was wrong because they didn't understand it. Because what happens is that what the ball side do is they start taking a measurement of the objects and not off the surface. And so consequently then they show how the objects don't drop over horizontal because they're working off the top of the objects and not working off of making a parallel with the surface, with the vision, parallel view with the surface.
So you're describing the hijacking of perspective. So as something reduces in angular size and drops towards the horizon, not the surface, drops towards the surface, the object, they'll assert that it's being a dip. It's them capable of measuring that object's dip. So in his example, Craig's example, it's the two lanterns or whatever they call them, and he's saying across the lake you're looking at one drop from a height. Well, that's, as you point out, the object that he's referring to, which is experiencing an angular size change, whereas the surface itself is going to be a horizontal that you're going to have to utilise in order to make your measurements. However, they just assume that horizontal is curved. It's a begging the question fallacy.
Exactly. The lanterns are both at the same height.
Yeah.
So the lanterns are both at the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah, off the surface.
All right. The big clue here is Andrew Thomas Young with refraction, who admits that all of his calculations for refraction were done on plane surfaces. In order for it to work on the sphere, you have to take geometrical considerations and go to a few other pages to see how they make it work on the sphere.
No, it's terrestrial refraction. Terrestrial refraction, he already assumes a sphere, right? With a known radius and that the atmosphere is curving. Atmosphere is gas. Gas doesn't have inherent shape. It's a double your pleasure fucking train wreck of epic proportions.
You back, Ed? Not Ed, Moleman.
Yeah, my point with the fallacy thing was that the black swan starts with the begging a question fallacy.
The begging the question fallacy is your claim that the Earth's a sphere. So you're saying that the P statement, if the Earth's a sphere, that's begging the question. Yeah, absolutely, that's our point.
Moment.
Yeah, you realize? Hold on. He's mixed up. No. I asked him what the black swan fallacy was, and he said it was a begging the question. The black swan fallacy isn't begging the question. It's a problem with induction.
All
I see. Swans are white. You're the one that's invoking it.
Yeah, but Q, you misunderstood me. I wasn't talking about the black swan fallacy.
The Modus Collins argument isn't. The Modus Collins argument, you fucking retards, is not begging the question. It's friggin' logic, for crying out loud!
The end statement debunks
the argument is begging the question. I mean, just the format of the Modus Collins. That's what you're saying.
No, the black swan starts with if the Earth is a sphere. Is that begging a question?
That's the Modus Collins!
All right, hold on. No, I just want to repeat what I've just said. His assertion is that the P statement, if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959. He's saying that statement is begging the question. That's what he's saying.
Oh my god. Really, Moleman?
No, it's disproving the question. It's the opposite.
But hold on. The point is, the globe, why am I having to break this down? The globe is saying the premise that the Earth is a sphere is begging the question. That's what Moleman's saying. He's saying his own claim that Earth is a sphere with radius 3959. That statement is begging the question. That's his assertion. He's the glober.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You
This is
know,
brilliant.
he's telling us, look, you can't inquire upon our begging the question because that's a fallacy.
Exactly, Arwen. You've got it. Exactly. He's saying to challenge the assumption that I hold as a begging the question fallacy would be to use a begging the question fallacy, to have it as a P statement. No, mate, you're just telling us that assuming Earth's a sphere is a begging the question. That's what you're actually doing.
Quality. Thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks, Mole Man. We know. It's a begging the question fallacy to assume Earth's a sphere with a radius of 3959. It's also the only ever claimed to be globe proof we ever get ever, as demonstrated by Fight the Flat Earth.
What?
That's the same thing that's
shocked.
happening in
What is? Let's try this. What is the black swan fallacy?
The black swan fallacy. That all swans are white.
Yeah.
All swans are white. That's the fallacy. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
a
not
black
begging the
swan
question,
fallacy.
by the way.
Yeah.
Mo man, are you sure you're not begging the question?
Just out of interest, Mole Man, how did you think? Just one more question for Mole Man. How did you think your compadre got on today?
Fight the Flat Earth?
Huh?
Well, not too well. I mean, there was like you kind of like to dip your balls too much into men. That's disturbing, but
oh well.
I don't think you
mean,
enough.
it was a shit show on both sides. I mean, both were screaming quite a bit.
Yeah, it's just a metaphor.
Well,
you're obviously not a gamer.
Yeah, but he spent half the time laughing and calling people slappy. So that was
you hear
awesome.
what I said?
What's slappy? What's slappy?
What is that?
I don't know.
Didn't, Neil. What did you say?
Same thing as teabagging, but much more violent, where you slap your balls on the man's forehead instead of being polite and pressing.
I thought it meant someone bald.
Slappy is much worse.
He kept saying.
You guys are twisted.
Yeah, it's gamers. I'm not a gamer. I just thought it was funny when I found out what it, because I heard it right. I do watch gamers videos, but I don't game. And I heard this term teabagged. I've teabagged him, and I didn't know what it was. And then I looked up this guy. Right, my explanation for teabagging was this video of this guy, and he's in full on VR. He's dressed up like doing the thing, and he's moaning at this other player on the mic, going, "You son of a bitch! You're just hiding there. You just camping or something." He's moaning about him camping, right? And then he shoots him in the face, and in full-on VR gear, goes up and squats on his face, right? So you can see what's happening in the game, and you can see him in his VR gear having to physically squat up and down to perform the actions. And I saw it, and I thought that was so hysterically funny that I thought, I'm having that. I can't not have teabagging. It's so funny.
Yeah, you seen that gaming?
Yes, gamers.
That's old, dude.
What they do, they shoot them and then go and, dangle their testicles.
That's old, man.
No, as a sexual term, teabagging has got a specific sexual reference, right? But in terms of its modern usage, that's what it's used for. I know teabagging as a term's very, very old, but I've just never heard it in that context. As in, you shoot someone in the face in a game, and then to laugh at how badly they've just been beaten, you go and dangle your nuts in their face.
Anyway,
Hey,
back to
Hans,
your nuts in the face.
hold on
You kept
a
saying
second.
you had
Is
no
Hans-
balls.
No, he's not
Hold on,
sorry.
Huey. Go ahead, Neil.
He kept saying, Nathan, you have no balls. So I said, exactly, because they're in your mouth.
Okay.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Neil. Go ahead, Huey.
Now, this guy.
I don't know how you should take that.
Oh, God. Never mind. Never mind.
But you should have got your ass here when I texted you that he was on.
Text
I was sleeping.
So, Nathan, was it worth being warned in advance that dumbass retard moron was going to be joining, or would it have been better not to warn you and just do it ad hoc?
I didn't care either way. I kind of thought I made that clear on the phone.
No, I don't mean John. I mean Fight the Flat Earth.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant.
joking.
Oh shit!
Sorry, John.
No, that's what I thought you meant.
I know. I'm just winding John up.
Oh my god, John, don't take that shit.
I didn't even understand the joke.
Very funny. Very funny.
Hold on.
Chemo was far more excited than I was.
So they're in the chat.
Hey, go ahead,
saying
Elijah.
The statement presupposes a sphere. And then he said, why the fuck presuppose a sphere Earth? We never claimed it was a sphere. Globe is not a sphere.
What? What? He actually said that?
No, I know where he's going. He's going to talk about it being pear-shaped and having a slightly different equator value compared to other bits
Oh,
of
an
it.
approximate elliptoid.
Yeah, when they beg the question.
Yeah.
Elliptoid, did you just say?
Yeah, elliptoid. That
Yes,
sounds like
Elliptoid.
Elliptoid.
Yes.
I'm sorry, were they using this elliptoid for all of their calculations?
Stop. Just in case anybody's not familiar with that word. Ellipsoid. Let's just not... Don't repeat it. It's wrong.
It does come from the same guy that called the geometric horizon word soup. So...
So is an elliptoid an ellipsoidish shape? Or something?
It's just a speech impediment.
If you look up elliptoid, it says it's the mistaken pronunciation of ellipsoid.
No way!
It's a mistake.
No way! Is that true, Chocolate? The elliptoid has got a definition, and it's to define the fact that someone's mispronounced ellipsoid.
From what I remember, yeah. I'll confirm right now, but I remember looking that up. Give me a second.
Well, at least it's got a definition.
Type of pornography.
Whoa.
That word salad.
Apparently it's a more common mistake.
Hey, Hans Assman, you're in here. Come off mute. He said that the Q statement in the Modus Tollens, Black Swan, he said wrong. Okay, tell us. Come on, come off mute.
Let's remind the audience then, in case he does actually answer. So he's saying that to assert P, if the Earth is a sphere with fixed radius, that's just wrong. Well, welcome to Flat Earth.
No, the Q statement. Then every
Q.
horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. He said that's incorrect.
But that's globe geometry. That's their assertion that Earth has globe geometry.
Yeah.
They really need that bit, though.
Yeah, they need it. That's their claim.
They really need that bit.
Yeah, we're trying to get him off mute. Hans, you're in here. I see you. Come on.
Talking, can I
Yeah,
ask-
come on. Tell us
ask a
how.
question from
Tell us
Nathan?
how your asserted geometry is wrong, so we can welcome you to Flat Earth.
Flowers.
Maybe they're moving towards the flat globe.
I'll set you up for that one.
Maybe they're maneuvering their conceptions to the flat globe, so they don't have to be bothered by reality and just keep it flat, but just assert their globe.
Nathan, it's in Ball Busters.
That's kind of what they've been doing forever, isn't it, Owen?
Yeah, but maybe now it's just without all the convolution in between and the mind experiments. It's just a straight out direct process now.
Lie. Just
But
straight
they're
out.
really,
Exactly. No fact.
they're really doing this like it's all good.
It literally says it. I've got it on screen, Chocolate. Elliptoid. Misspelling of ellipsoid.
Nathan, is it just me and you being English? Does that not sound like a very rude word? And it's
Elliptoid.
disgusting, right? Yeah.
He gently caressed her elliptoid. No, not really.
There you go. Come on. Come on.
I don't know. Elliptoid may be a variation on reptiloid or insectoid.
Yeah, that doesn't sound sexy though.
Sounds like
he
a
went in for an
mongoloid
operation on his
vaginoid,
elliptoid. It sounds very serious.
Hey, try that.
Well, if you got a call saying, look, your wife's elliptoid has been fucked up, I wouldn't think of anything else but, you know what?
I don't know what. You'll have to tell us.
Her fucking vagina, Nathan.
The fucking vagina?
Geez.
Elliptoid vagina. No, I've never heard it called that.
I don't know, man.
No, I've got the definition up. It says it's
maybe if you basically associate mathematical shapes with sex a lot, then I'd understand. But otherwise, nah.
Well,
What's the angular size? What's the angular size?
Alrighty then.
It's just the word almost lip being in there. You know, I'm not going to say that sounds like her arm or her fucking knee or her back of her head or any of these types. It sounds more like a vagina or her face.
You said.
I don't know, man.
We got it the first time.
Sounds like someone can't say it.
Crackle.
I would think it's maybe a
Hold on.
vertebrae or something.
Just need to bring clarity. Were you the guy who was talking about having warts on his penis earlier?
No.
Are you sure?
Nah, that was the ball.
Unequivocal.
Hey, Hans. Hold on. We got to get Hans in here. Hans, if you don't come off mute, I'm gonna.
And we interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special report on the elliptoid.
What do you want? Sounds to me more like a vertebrae of some
Hey, there's Hans.
Somebody said, "What do you want?"
Yeah, that was Hans. Hans, go ahead. What's your argument against the Black Swan?
Why are you expecting Earth to be a sphere?
We're not.
Why?
We're not.
Why do you assume it's a sphere?
We're not. You are.
Yeah, it's not a sphere.
No,
what do you think the Earth is?
It's literally you making the argument. It's you behind the model.
What do you think the Earth is?
Hold on, he's telling us it's not a sphere. Let him go. Let him go. Go ahead, mate. Tell us all about how it's not a sphere.
Yeah. Tell us.
The last I checked, Earth is a globe. Globe is not a sphere.
What? Sphere? Got to do with anything.
Words do matter, bitches.
Yeah, those words, they showed us.
The question to you is,
my God, do I feel...
you think it is?
Sorry, I just wiped this egg off my face. My God, those words really did show us.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know if all of the calculations that they use is that with the shape that you're talking about, or what's going on?
Do you not know what shape a globe is? Don't you?
What's the radius? What's that shape's radius?
This guy's a moron. Guy's a complete moron.
What's the difference between the sphere and the globe?
I think he was in the other day and got kicked. Does he need to be here?
He sounds like a troll.
Yeah.
It just sounds thick.
Semantics, only semantics.
Semantics means words and their meanings. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley. Another massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels. And I'll see you all in the next video.
What a day! What a lovely day!